Probably turn it on. Hello, everybody. My name is Lewis Lee, and this is Plan and Traffic. And we do this every Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And we have special guests that come on all the time, and friends and family. So tonight we are talking about exhaust being outlawed in Virginia. How you doing, Ray?
Good, Lewis. An interesting topic tonight. It's something we've been talking about. They're all states are. Now you got darker. What'd you do?
Did I? Hold on.
Turn the lights out.
Hold on 1 second.
And in some places, they would lambaste me for saying that to you.
Yeah, right.
You know, no, that's better than that. Yeah, okay.
Okay. We got my ring light on.
Yeah, we've talked about the exhaust thing that it's been going on here in New York, and we talked about how the inspection shops are now being held accountable for motorcycles with loud exhaust or unauthorized exhaust. And I don't know if it's the feds. I know there's some inspectors. They're going, if you get pulled over, I guess it gets kicked up the chain, and some agency, it may even be like an arm of the DMV, is going to go after the inspection shop and cite. I get, there's a lot of it that can still get tied up and not. But the main thing is, it's like anything else. It just creates a problem. It's if a shop owner has to answer for that, they're going to get tied up with cost and maybe court, and nobody wants that.
So. Right. Well, I know the last SEMA that I went to was 2019. I went to one of the press meetings, and they were really emphasis on lobbying in Washington, and I didn't realize that SEMA, they do a lot of stuff in Washington to try to keep our rights going on this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, do you get the SEMA SAN emails? Have you signed up for those?
Yeah, but you know how I am with emails.
I know, because I just got another one today. They're it's kind of like the NRA or any other group that has a large body. They're I could almost pull it short of saying to use the word activists, but they are activists.
Mm-hmm.
Like ABATE is activists for motorcycle rights, and they just want to make sure that everybody gets a fair shake and that groups aren't riding herd or doing things that are not right for because let's face it, we all people have rights. Motorcyclists have rights, gun owners have rights, we all have rights, and SEMA looks out for the guys and girls with in the car truck and
because when I was there, they were really talking about how they're trying to make it where you can't work on your own car.
Yeah,
I mean that's part of Americana, is working on your own stuff.
Well, that ties into the right to repair law, and I know they've been very big with that too. And what that goes back to is, and Brian would know about this, not even dealerships, the car companies weren't releasing the repair information to independent shops. Of course, they have to release it to their dealerships because they service their product, but they weren't making it available to like places like Chilton or Haynes, places that would make those aftermarket manuals, or to the individuals like you and I. And the argument is, hey, I buy your car, I spend a lot of money on it, and now I can't repair it. I can't get a manual for my FJ. They don't print an aftermarket manual for that. I had to find factory stuff online and download it. So the right to repair law has been challenged, and we won on that. They said, no, you know what? You have to give people information on how to repair this product if you're going to sell it to them. And they don't have to make it 100% easy. They don't have to give you 100% of everything, I guess. Again, they played a game, but they did lose that litigation.
That's good, because every vehicle I get, I usually buy the book for it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But lately I haven't been. Like, I've been, my newer cars, I really haven't, because I don't work on them too much. But anything I buy used or old, I really get into the book.
Right. See, I like to get them for no other reason than just torque specs and specifications, things like that, because certain bolts are very critical, I feel, to be torqued.
Right.
And now we have torque to yield. The specs have changed a little, so I like to have it for that information.
Yeah, my F-150, it's a 2011,
Yeah,
and it's starting to rattle and make noises and cough and stuff. So I'm about to get the book for it because she's not reliable like she was.
right. Yeah, well, that's when you got to get under there and really just give it a good look, see, and
Yeah,
if the exhaust heat shields start letting go,
that's exactly what's making noise too.
that's always the first thing to go, the catalytic converter. And a lot of times you can get in there, they'll use like steel rivets on the shields, and the shields are some kind of rust retardant on them, but the rivets will rust and then they'll fall out and then it'll rattle.
Yep.
So you can get in there with a nut and bolt, a different kind of pop rivet, number of things, zip ties, or just take them off altogether.
Yeah.
There's ways around that.
Yeah, I got to get under there. Every time I start it, they rattle.
Yeah.
You know what else I'm getting is the exhaust, the manifolds. I think they tick a little bit until it warms up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's another thing. They're all known for it.
Yeah. Those are typically a pain in the ass to service because the bolts rust pretty good, and then they they snap off. Now you have a problem with broken bolts in the head. That's all sorts of that cool stuff.
Oh, you know what? I'm on the little screen. I didn't realize the other guys were in here. Hey guys, how you doing, Paul?
I'm doing well. How about yourself tonight, Lud?
Hey, I woke up this morning and the sun was shining, so I'm good.
Yes, it was.
How you doing, Brian?
Hey guys, hey Paul, how you doing?
Doing well.
Saw Andy the other day, last Sunday up at Burtonsville. He's been making a regular hit up there. I guess they've been letting you guys run around free or whatever.
They let him run around free. I didn't know he saw you, but he's been going to Burtonsville every Sunday for the most part.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people with Burtonsville that are going over to Crofton. And then a lot of people from Crofton have been going up to Burtonsville. So all these Sunday morning cruises are really gaining strength. And I'm hearing that the Saturday night and the Friday night cruises are really gaining strength as well.
Yeah, they got the same guys up in Burtonsville does up off of 216. And that shopping center up there. And that's been Wednesday night. I haven't been able to make it up there yet just because of work, and Wednesday's a long day. But it was funny. I saw him last Sunday and wanted to give him a hard time, but he has a little bit of a fan club that follows him around.
I'll give you a tip, Brian. Are you sporting a haircut along with that shave or what?
Yeah, I did it. I took a little off.
You did?
Yeah.
You took a lot off.
Nah.
No, man, you had the whole back mane going there.
Yeah. So I just took a little off. See how it goes. Maybe I'll go a little more. I don't know. I'm experimenting on myself. So
all right. Hey, can't get in trouble for that. Right?
No. Well, see what happens.
All right. So I understand we're talking about Virginia's new law tonight.
Yes. Starts when? Tomorrow?
I understand that starts tomorrow. Yes. I also understand, I could be completely wrong on this, but I understand that the way it's worded, it's basically takes it from a secondary violation to a primary offense.
And what's the
difference? Which is the way it used to be before they changed the law. So all they did was go back to the way it used to be.
Okay.
The federal laws, from what I understand, that they don't necessarily enforce, have always been on the books about modification of exhaust systems in the state of Virginia. When you go now, Virginia is a yearly inspection. Maryland is a one-time inspection. So when you go yearly for your inspection, all the evaporative emissions have to be in place. The catalytic converter has to be in place. The proper mufflers. If it's not a CARB certified header, it can't be on there. But I think what they're trying to do is really, really take it from the secondary offense to the primary offense. But the bottom line is cops aren't doing their job. They're not pulling you over. They
Mhm.
don't want the hassle. They don't want the headache. They don't want to endanger the public. They're not allowed to do their jobs and pull you over no matter what you're doing.
This
Right.
is very similar to what California did a while back, and we had that guy from Magnaflow on, and he basically said the same thing that Paul had said.
Rich.
That that they were, that law has been there, and it's kind of like, even I can remember a million moons ago when I got nailed for drag racing. And of course, you start out with a little bit of an attitude, and next thing the cop said, "Hey, look, we can do this one of two ways. I can get the book out and write everything up on your car, or we can change our attitude real quick, and we can just take care of this, and I'll see you in court." You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
he's right. I mean, it even goes back to when when all of our neighbors had little issues, and we were calling the county on each other. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
after about the third or fourth time the county guy was out, he was like, "Look, I want to tell you what I want to tell everybody else. If you guys can't work it out, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to walk down the whole street and write everybody up." And
every state has one of these. It's the vehicle and traffic law book.
oh yeah,
And this thing is thick.
New York.
Maryland's rewriting theirs right now.
And look at the size of the print. I mean, this
Yep.
stuff there is so much information in
Wow.
here. And this is what you do. You go back and get this book and just say, okay, let's see how far we got to go with you. And that's where you get into, American graffiti stuff, bumper height,
Yeah.
flashing rate of a directional. I mean, there's laws in there for everything, stuff you never even can imagine. And some of the cops
Well,
used to
here in Ohio, we don't have inspection.
right. Well, there you go.
We don't have inspection here, but we do have a couple laws. And like you said, the police really don't enforce them unless they really unless they really want to get into you. Like DOT, if they pull you, you're hit. But for the most part, like how high your handlebars are
Right.
from the seat, little stuff like that.
Yeah,
We got
that's
a
in
couple
there.
laws. Yeah.
Like Paul said, there's a lot of rules on the books that that have always been there, and the exhaust laws have always been on the books. I can pull one of these an older book out and show you that it's on there, but it was up to the discretion of the officer how he wants to deal with that. Does he want to pass that up, write something else, or use that as his that was his main reason for pulling you over? It was always there.
Well, we've been getting hit with tinted windows. They're carrying that tinted window little tester thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Now in Maryland, tinted windows are a secondary offense. They can't pull you over for tinted windows, but they can pull you over for vehicle height, too high, too low, exhaust noise, a burnt out taillight, a taillight they say is out, but all of a sudden works when you go to inspect it.
Yeah.
But again, it really falls under, at least with me, and I like playing with my hot rod, and I run my car hard. If you don't start none, there won't be none.
Right.
If you don't act like an ass and give them a reason to pull you over, you'll be all right. If you are being an ass, then you're going to get pulled over.
Hold on, let me get the porn thing off.
No, I got them. They came in early tonight. They usually don't come in till after 11.
Yeah.
I couldn't make out what it was. What did it say?
You'll see. They'll be bad. Believe me, if it's starting this early, we're screwed. But like you said, I don't know now. I don't know in New York if you can, if they can pull you over for the tint. Maybe they may be able to. But I know that the concern is, and the law enforcement community mounted the concern that when doing a traffic stop is the most dangerous thing that an officer has to do.
Especially now.
To a vehicle with black tinted windows in the middle of the day, you can't even see in. You don't know if there's a 45 behind there, a shotgun, a howitzer, whatever.
Right.
It just makes that job so much harder. I'm seeing guys running dark tinted windshields.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're running that now here.
Yeah.
And that's what's getting them jammed up.
And now with the inspection law now has that light refractometer that they just put it right up to the glass, and they can measure the amount of light transmission. And it has to be removed.
Now, when I was hauling cars for Unique back in 2005, they were doing all the celebrity cars tinting the front window, and
Yeah.
they're just now getting here doing it. So it's been 15 years. That's how far we're behind.
We've had it for a while down here,
Yeah,
and
we've had it here too. Yeah.
and you know, it's kind of funny the times that I've been pulled over, which I don't like really talking about how much that happens, but you know, they always freak out because I put my hands out the window, and they walk up and they say, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Hey, I just want to let you know you know what you're walking up on."
Right.
And then they say, "Wow, thanks." And I was like, you know, unfortunately, you know, I come from a law enforcement family,
Right.
and you know, instead of giving you a hard time about something stupid, it just might as well make it. At least you know that you're not, you know.
I've always told my kids that you get pulled over at night, you know, you put the window down, cabin light on,
Yeah.
put your hands on the steering wheel or dashboard, let them see, because that's the cops' fears, what they can't see.
Yep.
So, I mean, there could still be a threat there, even if they can see certain things,
Right.
but at least now they know that, you know, from the onset, things are looking okay. But yeah. It's,
Scott.
What is up?
Back in the day, you know, we didn't have any window tint. This is like late 80s. We didn't have tint laws, so you could go dark as you want. So we went 5%. And I was going to school in Pittsburgh, so I'm sitting at a light in Pittsburgh downtown, and a cop standing on the corner taps on my window. He goes, "Hey, you're not allowed to have tinted windows." I was like, I'm from Ohio." He's like, "Well, you're here now." I was like, "Well, that ain't got nothing to do with me," right?
Right.
So he's like, "Well, pull over here." He wrote me a ticket. I was like, "Man, you can make me go to court. You're gonna lose because I'm from Ohio. I'm passing through." Yeah, I just want to mess up your day. So he wrote the ticket.
He wrote you anyway, yeah.
I had to go and, you know, yeah. They threw it out, but I still had to, you know, go waste my day.
Yeah.
When I was in college. Yeah. So they can't mess with you. And now I tinted my windows on my truck 35%, and I can't see out. I'm like, man, I'm getting old. I had to roll the window down and go to the parking spot.
When I had my Caprice wagon years ago, it had limo tinted windows. The driver, the front doors were just the stock tint, and from the rear doors and the rear side windows and the back window was limo tint. Mm-hmm. And at night, man, it was tough. You couldn't see out the back, out of the mirror. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And now my daughter, her SUV has limo tinted back glass, and I forget every time I get in it, I go to drive. Even in the day, you look up like, what is it like? Is the mirror adjusted wrong? Because you just can't see out of that damn thing.
Yeah.
So
dark.
side view mirrors only.
So I can't imagine doing my front window. Man, I'd be real in trouble.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the look.
Yep. But like I said, they were doing it back in 2005, man, up there in New York. And
yeah.
All the rappers, they've been had that.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to do the tool truck, but DOT guy would have a more of a field day with me than anything else.
Oh yeah.
And that fishbowl of mine,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that the glass coming through. I tell you, it's like
on the bus. I'm gonna put a sun visor like on the semis.
Yeah.
Soon I'll figure out how to.
Ray's got to hook you up with that guy because that was pretty good. Those.
Well, that's the one you park, not the one you're driving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go as far as I can go down. You know how to do on the semis. Those real nice one with the point.
Yeah. I actually asked, I petitioned to get him back on the show a couple, 3-4 weeks ago. And he told me, business is bad right now. And he said he had a bunch of things going on. So he asked to kind of put it off for a while.
Really? And
I said, yeah, hopefully things will get better.
You know, I'm running into that with my customers and clients, man. It's bad. I mean, money is funny right now.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Money is very funny right now, but it's amazing.
They're still spending it.
work is through the roof. I cannot. Brian, if you know anybody up our way that needs a job, send them to me.
Yeah.
Scott and Andy will hire them instantly. We need help.
I have so many I have a stack. I actually need to take a picture of it. I have a stack of business cards in my tool truck. Every time a shop owner comes out, he's like, "Hey, if you find some," I mean, this whole industry is in really, really big trouble, dude. I mean, we talked about it over the years, and we kind of chuckled about it, like, "Oh, well, it's there, dude, because there ain't nobody getting into this stuff, and nobody wants to stay."
Yeah.
I was really surprised that this new young gentleman that's our new Mako man has decided to dive and do the investment and take it on. Apparently, he used to be a wrench at some dealership and decided he didn't like the dealership life and wanted to be a tool salesman.
Yeah, who's the new guy? Who's your new guy? We had a whole bunch to start. You remember his name?
I cannot remember his name. I want to say it's a Latino name. He's a really nice guy. He showed up. He did his round with your supervisor guy that knows you.
Andrew, blonde-haired guy. Was this Walter? Was his name Walter? I don't know if he goes that far up. There's Walter Hernandez.
Latino to me.
There was the one guy said he was going to be riding with you the following week, so he would have been with you a couple weeks ago, and then he was back with this new guy riding around, and then
that got postponed.
They'd see me Tuesday, and then they ditched. They didn't even come in on Tuesday. I'm like, oh my god, the guy barely lasted 2 weeks.
No, what usually happens, and this is where they got to learn time management, and they can't, they want to go in and, hey, what's going on, and play with everybody, and it's like all of a sudden you look up and you're only on your fourth stop, and you got 15 more, and it's 3:00 in the afternoon. So you kind of have to learn time management, and they usually get pretty bombarded. The new guys get pretty bombarded, with warranties and requests, so it kind of slows them down a little bit more, and then plus learning a new system or learning the system. So I usually tell guys, like, what happened to that new guy? And I said, oh, he's still around. Just give him a couple of weeks. He'll squeeze in and get everything going. But and he'll also learn eventually that it's just because it says 4:30 doesn't mean that it's time to go home.
Right.
So it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's a lifestyle, and a lot of guys have that problem. So, and that's with anything that you own. I mean, business wise,
right.
Well, I'll tell you something else that I learned. Not having a 9-to-5 job makes your lifestyle a lot easier, a lot nicer.
Nice to be retired, huh?
Yeah, it is. Finished a month today, and I tell you, it really does change the way you think and just the way you breathe. Every day is just yours.
Yeah,
should be
nice.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if I can figure out a way to get a couple of dollars to get this bus done, I'll leave next week.
Yeah. Problem
Good luck with that.
You can't afford the diesel fuel now.
Right.
What I'll do is I'll just get enough to get to where I'm going until I get my check.
Put two LS motors in there together.
Yeah, you had to go out and start swiping home heating oil.
There you go.
Right?
Or make some biodiesel.
I just had a $1,000 bill last week. Over 1,000
on the home heating. Yeah.
Is your tank outside?
What?
Is the tank outside?
No.
Smart man.
They don't put them outside in Massachusetts.
Yeah, here neither. Well, they do them both ways, but yeah, most of them around here are inside too.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So,
we had to go back to wood burners.
Well, we're all looking for ways to save money. I promised I would give a tip tonight. If you want to save some money on a cold case radiator or pipes exhaust, our good friend Sam Adave has a promotion going on right now. I guess you go through those places and go to checkout and you use the code Sam's Garage, and it'll give you a free shipping on those parts.
Oh wow!
So,
who's Sam?
Sam Adave. He does Sam's Garage. Lewis, you know his background better than than most of us.
Yeah, he has he has a shop in Georgia, and he also does low car shows.
All right, I know who you're talking about now. Yes.
On Motor Trend TV.
He's been on this show. We've had him on this show.
Yeah, good guy, man. He's one of our good friends. Good,
Yeah, he is.
Good friends. Yep. He he's a funny dude, man. When you're, I ain't gonna tell you. He's just off the hook.
Yeah.
But man, I'll tell you what, his crew, his camera crew, and the production company, they are no joke, man. They worked the whole day when we were down in Alabama last summer, and those guys, man, they did the editing and everything all that same day, that
Wow.
night, and then we all went to dinner and stuff. I mean,
It was on TV like 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
Was
you don't play.
the Battle of Bama or whatever?
Say again?
The Battle of Bama, is that the name of that car show?
No, this one was Nelson from Boss Hog Torque Converters.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't play. Like you said, they'll have the show out in 2 weeks. Yep. All business.
Hey, did any of you guys happen to hear watch the Dan Short video thing last night with
I saw the
Iraq's-
the end of it, like the last half hour of it. Yeah.
he's living off the grid. Oh
He's-
my God, I didn't realize.
I went food shopping with my wife. We did some food shopping today, and I was telling her about how he's freeze dry and everything, and how he's rendering it down.
It'll last forever. How do you freeze dry friggin' meats? I
He's
mean,
saying 25 years this stuff is lasting, and it's fine. Eggs, he said, as fresh as when they came out of the chicken's ass.
What was that on?
He did it on.
Three Rights Make on the left.
He did it on Lou's show. Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't
Yeah,
realize
I'll
he
tell you
was
what.
out,
You know who else is doing off grid? The guy from Pawn Stars, the dad,
Oh.
not the old
Oh,
man,
really?
but the father. He has a place in Oregon that is off the hook, man. All off grid. He has a stream that's coming through, and he has the generator from the water. He has solar and big battery banks.
Wow.
He's no joke, man. He's way off grid.
Well, it's nice when you can afford it. When you have all that TV money and you can afford to invest in those big battery banks and solar grids and
Yeah.
Well, it's funny is he was talking about money. He'd be doing $200,000. Well, bills that should have been 200,000 were only getting charged 150. He was actually losing money, he claims. And they do a take, and it's like they missed it. They'd have him do it again and again and again. That cars were taking longer. He says he literally was losing money doing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the customers think, "Whoa, I can get all these parts for nothing, right? Because you're not paying anything." And they're like, "Yeah, no."
Right. Tori just sent me a text. The new low car show. See, starts Saturday, 9:00 a.m. Motor Trend.
It's on my DVR already.
right.
So I went to a little cruise night tonight.
Oh, cool.
That wasn't anything big deal, but 2 Thursdays ago, I went out to that Bass Pro Shop. That's Gillette Stadium where the Patriots play.
Yeah.
1,600 cars.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's about normal. In fact, they've got up to 20-something hundred multiple times.
Nice.
Every other Thursday, they do this.
Probably still playing with her
I think people were so built up or stuffed in the house for so long, they're getting out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been putting a ton of mileage on my little baby here. Ray, you've seen that, haven't you, or no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lewis has seen it.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Got it running much better now.
I'm gonna try to talk the guys into doing the Hot Rod Super next year. I got a couple guys that might want to invest, so I'm trying to talk them into doing it because it used to be the show here. You know what I mean? For 30 years, then the city boardman decided to dog us out, and they didn't want the noise in the cars for one weekend.
Yeah.
You know,
Think
they
of
lost
the
a lot of money.
They just
Think of
wanted the
the
money.
that comes into local businesses, hotels, restaurants.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep,
we
yep.
used to do the New England Summer Nationals here in Worcester every 4th of July weekend. All the hotels would be booked. They do it up at the park, and then they used to do burnouts downtown Worcester. We have this tunnel, and they have flamethrowers, and people come from all over the place. We had cars from Florida, Canada, all over the place would come. Tons of New York people, and it was going on for years, probably 15, 18 years. And then it kind of ended, but it brought in so much money. Insane.
Yep.
Well, they want all that. They want all
Unfortunately,
that.
burnout marks all over the streets of the city.
I mean, they want all that, but they just don't want the other part of it. I mean, they have the same problem
traffic.
down here in Ocean City. They, you know, everybody's all for the guys coming, you know, the cars to come down, but and they are, you know, they want that there, and then of course when they all get there, they don't want it. So it's, you know, you can't have the cake and icing and
You need it too.
and have ice cream, and you know, because they all want it. I mean, it's like, hell, I'd love to have $800 sales all day long with a $400 payment, but it's the $800 sale with a $20 payment afterwards that, you know,
Yeah.
you're like, shit, dude, I don't need all this. So
I hear you.
So
So,
gas could seem to drop down a little bit around here, but I think it's that tax thing, and then it'll go up again.
yeah, ours dropped, I think, 12 cents.
I just paid $5.55 a gallon for super today.
Oh, we're down into 4. We're like 4.78.
For super?
No, regular.
Yeah.
I actually paid $4.48 today.
Oh, listen to this.
think
Sheets. You guys got sheets around you?
I got one
Yeah.
in Maryland. I got one by me, one close to me.
I heard something about sheets.
'Cause
Yeah, what happened?
They're doing a special until the 4th.
Yeah.
They're doing a special until the 4th for
$3.99.
$3.99 for 80.
$3.99.
For the
88
what is it
grid.
called?
Great.
80, yeah. Now, what would happen if you put that in an older car?
Yeah.
Get up and go.
Still go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said 01 and up, 01 and newer takes that fuel. But I'm putting
So
in everything.
So
Lawnmower.
it's E85.
Oh,
Yeah.
E85. Okay, yeah. You have to be cars to be set up for that.
We don't have any of that around here.
Oh, we got it here. Yeah, we do have
My
it here.
truck can handle it, my Tahoe, but
I was surprised that the diesel went down a whole $1.
oh
Wow.
wow.
$4.99. I was like, wow, I almost had a heart attack.
Well, that's something. Yeah.
I mean, when the gas pump stopped at 130, 132, it stopped at. I was like, wow, I didn't think I had that much fuel really in the truck. But then I realized it said $4.99 instead of $5.99.
And you know what's sad is that $4.99 is still crazy.
Oh yeah, dude.
And you get happy about it. Oh, yeah, it came down.
Exactly.
Dude, I just figured it's right before all these elections, our midterm elections, are lowering this price, and everybody's going to be happy now. And then as soon as those yahoos get back in, of course, I'm not going to really go there, but you know, it's.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, because figuring, what did I figure? I was paying something like $300, a little over $300 a month. That's what I used to pay.
Mhm.
And now I'm paying 800 and something.
Wow. It's crazy.
To keep that
I went to
truck running.
BJ's. I went to BJ's last week and filled up, and it stops at $100. It won't, and it could have took another 2.5 gallons. And I'm like, really? They always top out your credit card at 100. It won't let you go past.
Wow.
Oh, they changed that down here. It's up to like 150 or something. It used to be at 100 or 75. It used to be
Yeah,
or
I think
whatever.
yeah.
And then they did that. A lot of places were doing a pre-build. So if you went in and they automatically tagged your credit card at 100 and whatever. And it took a couple days for it to change, and they were really screwing with people's money, man. I tell
They
you,
did that Sam's Club got me the other day.
man, and they were screwing screwing around with a lot of people. I tried. I mean, even though cash is extremely hard right now, I try to be mostly cash.
Yeah, I went to
I'm a
Sam's.
cash guy, but dude.
So Lewis, would they pre-approve it, but then they have to wait to get the total?
Yeah, but they tie up your money for a couple
Yep.
days because
Yep.
they'll bang you right away for the 125 or whatever, or $100 or whatever it was, and then it's like a couple days later, then it changes. But if some people are on the limit on their credit limit, or these like on debit cards, you're only allowed to spend so much a day or whatever it was, and they tie all that stuff up.
Yep.
And it really, really messed up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because I put gas in and I went to another store and it denied my card. I'm like, why is it denied? So then I looked it up and I was like, why did Sam's Club charge me all this money? So I went back to Sam's. I was right around the corner. I was like, hey, what's going on? It's like, oh, it should go back on. I'm like, it better or we're going to have some problems.
Yeah.
Hey, so it's supposed to be 92 here tomorrow. Are you getting the hot today or tonight?
It was hot. It was hot for us.
Well, you're down south, but what about you?
We're in the
Lewis? I'm
80s.
getting your weather later.
Yeah, I'd say it was touching on 90 degrees, maybe a little more today, but I was in the shop, so the one side of the shop where I am is a little bit cooler than everywhere else because we don't get the sun beating in on us on that one side of the shop.
It's still like 81 here down here, man. It was terrible.
Well,
I don't want to say terrible, but it was tough.
Smoke, and it's warm outside. It's probably low 80s.
It was 79 here today. Hi.
And where in New England are you?
Massachusetts. Worcester. What's up, Terry?
Which side
Terry.
of Massachusetts is that? That's towards Boston? That's
Worcester's
towards
right dead nuts in the middle.
It's in the middle.
Yep. You
So
got
halfway
Springfield
to
west,
Springfield,
Boston
halfway to Boston.
I'm 45 minutes, 50 minutes from Boston.
Do they still have candlepin bowling at Worcester?
No. Well, there's one in Mill Street closed up. There was another one that closed up. I think there's one in Auburn now.
Yeah, I went out there one time and did some candlepin bowling. Little pins are like this big. I was throwing the damn.
Did you guys see what's new on the truck? We have our 3/8 universal, but it's magnetic.
Whoa.
Cool. And that's pinless too, huh?
No, these are pinned.
They are pinned. Okay.
Yeah, these are pinned.
Nice.
But they have a magnetic set, new to the truck. Come and get yours.
Nice.
I can't get a Matco man to come to the shop.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
what's up with that?
Well, it's time. It's time for you to become one.
You're outside.
Lewis, I gotta tell you, Lewis, your neighbor's garage behind you is lit up like a church. Now look at that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you should see mine.
Oof.
You can't see mine, but I got a big light over the top too.
That's a beat.
Actually, my light is shining over hers.
Wow.
Terry,
Neighbor's
these
garage look
guys-
like Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
So why are you outside, Lewis? Is it just nice, or you
Yeah.
sitting on the step and you pissed the old lady off?
No, it's nice out. So I figured I'd sit out here, but the mosquitoes started getting loose.
Oh, I thought
Terry,
you were.
I was telling the guys I went to Bass Pro Shop, their cruise night at Gillette Stadium where the Patriots played 2 weeks ago. 1,600 cars.
Oh.
Imagine that.
I gotta come back up to Boston. I have a buddy up in Boston. What's his name? Sincotti. Nick Sincotti. He's a nice guy. He's worse than me, but all his cars are finished. He's a tile guy. Good guy. I gotta give him
How
credit.
far are you from Tewksbury or Chelmsford?
Tewksbury. Tewksbury is about 40, 45 minutes
Okay.
up 495. They used to
Damn,
do a good cruise
1,600
night up
cars
there.
on a cruise night. That's almost worth a drive from Maryland to go see.
1,600 cars is a lot of cars.
Put it
Right,
this
hard.
way, honestly, 600 awesome, nice cars. Then you got the new Corvettes and the Camaros and the Mustangs, and then there's a ton of imports. And it's funny, the Corvettes park over here, and some of the street rods park here, and everything else is scattered, and all the new stuff is way in the back, which is good. You kind of walk right past it quick, and then you look at all the other good stuff. I actually posted a video on Facebook last week, or 2 weeks ago, and I'm up on the hill, and you can see going aisle, and it just kept going and going and going.
Hey, does anybody have a RV junkyard around your area?
What are you
Closest
looking
one
for?
to me is Columbus, like 3 hours.
What are you looking for?
I need a window because I closed off the front door, and I need a window for my wife, where she won't be able to look out.
One that has like the rubber on it and that you can just put in?
Yeah, slider window.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I'm building a small door because I put a storage down where the steps was, and I built a frame for a small door. I'm going to put a window in that, so maybe for emergencies or something, we can jump out that door if we have to, or put groceries in, whatever.
Yeah, because you don't want to go to a motorhome place and pay full money when you can get one out of a junk one or something,
Yeah,
the only place that I used to know was up there on the way to Cave Town or whatever, up there in the Panhandle in Maryland.
Right.
And that guy, that was off of 66, I think. And
Cave Town is up off of 66.
yeah, that guy. I used to get my Scout parts, but he had military half tracks in there from West Virginia State.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had all kinds of. That place had so much stuff up there, dude. You'd spend. That was actually me and the wife's first date. I come up there in the Scout. I was looking for parts for the Scout, and she comes out of their house and she's all dolled up. And I said, sweetheart, you might want to tone it down a little bit. And we're going to be gone for a while, but you're a little too dressy for this. And she looked at me and she goes, well, we are in the Scout, so that meant we were going on an adventure. So we drove out to Cave Town and went through a junkyard. And she said, you took me to a junkyard? And I was like, don't worry, we'll have fun. And man, we did. We were climbing on half tracks and going through everything.
Oh, that's cool.
By the time we got done, I bought a transfer case. I had to buy a transfer case and sat there. And at the end, I said, so did you have fun? And she goes, yeah, it wasn't too bad. I said, I guess I could pick you up for dinner. And she goes, okay. So I dropped her off and came back and picked her up. But that was fun. He took her out to a junkyard. So,
Lewis, I got an idea for you.
Yeah, that's.
Every once in a while on Craigslist on free, someone's got like a motorhome that just want to scrap. I don't know if you look on Craigslist or Marketplace and just search free motorhome or camper. Maybe you can like steal some stuff off it, give the guy a couple bucks, even though he's getting rid of the thing for nothing, and he gets rid of it free, missing a window.
Yeah, that's where I got my windows for the bus now. I've been keeping my eye out. Just the right size hasn't popped up. You know what I mean? I gotta have a right one. Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on it though. Craigslist though, I hate Craigslist. It's like so hard to navigate.
I don't like it either.
You think they would step up the game with Marketplace.
You know what's weird? If you go on Facebook, I keep getting this Craigslist app that comes up on Facebook, but I haven't joined it. I don't know if it's any
It's
easier.
like garbage, man. You search for something and it has you in a city somewhere else, and like, man, it's crazy.
What are you looking at, Terry?
Looking up for something for Windows for him.
Oh,
All right.
this man.
I'm gonna call it a night, guys. Thank you for having me on tonight, Lewis.
Yes, sir. Anytime. You're always welcome, bro.
hey,
And
Paul,
get some class, will you?
Paul, you ever come down to Burtonsville? You ever tried, or because I'm there every Sunday? I mean,
I've been going to Burtonsville on and off, starting in the early '80s when it was Friday and Saturday nights.
yeah. I mean, I've been going forever. I mean,
I'm
like
gonna
I said,
I'm gonna go with right around 2000, 2001 is when they started doing the Sunday mornings, and I've done a lot of Sunday mornings up there at Burtonsville year round. I've gone in the wintertime. I've gone in the summertime.
Yeah.
Well,
Look out for me. I'm up there all the time.
I'll look out for you. I remember when it went from the Roy Rogers Dunkin' Donuts side over to the other side of the highway.
Yep.
And then went back to the Dunkin' Donuts People's Drug Side or whatever it was
Yeah.
called before they changed that parking lot. Then at one point they moved everything up to 216 on Sunday mornings.
Yeah, they tried that.
They tried that. That didn't work out too well. They went back down to Burtonsville. And then at one point they were split between 216 and Burtonsville. And then for the last 5 or 7 years, a bunch of people have broken away from Burtonsville and has started the Krispy Kreme donuts in Crofton. Because that's a little bit closer for me. That's where I've been going. But I have, tell you what, I'm gonna leave the feet up for a second. I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna grab a piece of Church of the Holy Donut memorabilia.
Okay, I'll be.
Let me show you what I got hidden in the closet.
That's what they call it, the holy grail. I mean, the whatever he called it, the donut,
The Holy Donut.
Holy Church of Donut or whatever.
So
That's been going on for a long time.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, well, hell, I've lived here for over 20 years, 24, and I go up every Sunday morning. And like I said, it never ceases to amazes me on what comes in there, dude. There's always something new. You can have it's just I mean, I post the pictures every once in a while when there's something really new, but like I said, you can have a Rolls Royce with an LS in it, or you can have some drift car come up there, or a 61 fire truck or whatever. I mean, anything.
Or a Mustang with an LS in it, the right combination.
A Mustang?
Terry. I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah, you're right. Some people do hit their head and make
It wasn't
wrong
a knock.
decisions.
It was,
The one I do like I did like the 944. I think it was a 940, or I don't know if it was a 928, but it had an LS in it, and that was that sounded really good. I gotta admit.
was the Porsche was the one with the frog headlights that pop up like this?
I can't. I think it was a 44. I think it was a 944.
44?
I don't think it was a 28. Yeah, the headlights on those still pop up, but it's not this way.
Yeah,
The
I think
944 comes
pop
up, and the 9 pops up that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Terry, give me an opinion or something.
Hey Brian, I got a Porsche question for you.
How would LS look?
What is how do
It
you
looked
pronounce
good.
the?
I get asked that all the time, and it's I cannot tell you which way. I just call it a Porsche. And
No, I was going to say the SUV.
Cayenne.
The Cayenne.
Cayenne?
Yeah. The
Okay.
Cayenne.
How have you heard it, Lewis?
A guy said, I don't even know what he said. He said something different. It wasn't Cayenne though. It was Cayenne, or I don't know what he said.
Oh, yeah. No, the Cayenne.
I think it's safe to say he's wrong.
Yeah,
Right.
no, the Cayenne. Yeah, that's. I saw the Cayenne in the back room at
Did you say
training
Cayman?
center. The Cayman is the two-door boxers. That's the hard top. That was a sports. The trainer up there in Mau said, "Hey, you want to see what you'd be working on next?" And I was like, "What do you got there?" He goes, "Can't tell anybody." And I was like, "Okay." And we walked in the back room, and they had all the motors laid out that we take apart, and they had the car there. And I was like, "You got to be shitting me." We're finally going to get in the SUV platform. And he said, "Yep." And I said, "Well, we're about 10 years too late." And he said, "Yep."
Yeah.
He said, but I'm really surprised how well they've done, because there's a lot of them on the road.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of them running around here.
The
For
new
sure.
one is real hot.
Yeah.
Really?
So, really? This has got to be good. Yeah.
Like she's gonna jump on my head.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what Paul's got, but
All right, I found a few of them. See if we can make this out. I don't know if you can make it out or not.
Oh yeah, those are those. Yep.
These were the Ken Visser, who I guess was the unofficial official photographer
Well, yeah.
for Church of the Holy Donut. But I'm
made those.
not finding is the one that says Church of the Holy Donut.
He had one. Yeah.
He did one specific one, and I'm going to say it was in like 2006, 2007. I still see Ken from time to time, and I understand he still comes up to Burtonsville from time to time.
Yep.
Hey, I'm sorry if I look kind of crazy, but I had to keep my eye out because I live pretty close to the hood.
Oh.
You got your gun on you?
You live
Oh, yeah.
you live close to the hood. I live in the hood.
I'm only 2 blocks away. They're right down the street.
We played this game, gunshot or firework.
Yeah.
I'm about like 10 miles from the hood.
Yeah, I gotta keep my eye on both corners.
The valley, Great Brook Valley. Even the police don't go in there.
Well, we got a couple spots like that here.
Yeah, there's spots around here. You're right. The police don't even go.
Yeah.
How's the MC
Shame.
Club doing across the street, Lewis?
What'd you say?
How's the MC Club doing across the road?
Oh, cool, man. They let me park over there. I can see the bus from here.
Nice. Good.
But I'm getting lazy, Ray.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, oh, I'm gonna work on the bus. I was like, I don't feel like driving across the street. I could throw a rock at it.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
Ain't gotten done by itself looking at it.
Yeah, right. So, did you guys watch my newest video?
I just watched it.
I just saw it come up today. I'm gonna watch it. Let's watch it now.
Yeah. So it's the year review. So next week we're gonna really start hitting, getting ready to paint. I got all my paint from Summit. I got the primer. I'm ready to go. I just got to
What color
sand
you gonna
it.
paint?
It's Summit Racing has their own brand of paint. So
Yeah.
I got the Sunkiss Orange. You got a pearl in it. Man, it's really nice. I'm gonna go with that, and then white at the top, and the rub rails will be gunmetal gray, and the bumpers.
Nice.
Are you gonna paint it yourself?
Yeah, yep,
My man.
yeah. I don't play.
I'm
I
doing the same thing.
understand.
I'm taking
They're-
Kevin Texas course.
Their chemicals are pretty close to what DuPont Centauri used to be. Did you get the single stage or is it a base coat, clear coat?
Single stage.
Yeah, the Summit brand or whatever chemical, whoever they renamed it. From what I understand, I haven't experienced it yet. But what I understand is it's very much like spraying DuPont Centauri. It
Does it
looks like
coat
it,
enamel?
it sprays like it, it cures like it, it handles like it, which means that it's a good product.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing all good stuff about it.
You able to get any deals?
From Summit. Well, they're close to me, so I just went over and got it. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm
I love
blowing
Summit.
mosquitoes off the screen.
Well, I thought you were blowing everybody a kiss. I mean, golly. I mean, easy, Lewis. Easy.
Nice.
Terry,
I mean,
you
just-
find any of
yeah,
those-
Just
so,
because I trim up and clean up a little bit, just relax, you know? It's a
Yeah.
bloody good guy,
What
huh?
do you say, Scott?
You find any campers there? Any windows?
No.
All right,
What's it
guys.
called?
Night. Thank you very
Hi,
much.
Paul.
All right, Paul.
Good seeing you, Paul. Take care.
Yes,
Hopefully,
sir,
I'll
Paul.
meet you up in
Fantastic.
Burtonsville.
Wally.
If I get the opportunity Sunday morning, and you see my black Model A, you'll know I made it up there.
Okay, no problem.
Talk to you guys later.
Yep.
All right, Paul, take it
Be
easy.
good.
Yep. Bye.
These mosquitoes are putting hurting on me over here.
Yeah, you're ducking and
I don't
dodging.
know
like
why
that.
you're doing it. Don't do it to yourself, man.
Yeah, man, I even got the spray. The spray ain't worth a crap.
No, the
Must
spray
be
ain't
too
doing nothing.
old.
That thing's good for clearing headlights. That's it.
Oh, don't even believe that video. Come on, Terry.
What are you talking
Does it
about? I
work?
got a video doing it, man. Serious, it works.
Does
Really?
it? Because I got to do one on my Toyota.
You know what? Go do one right now and do taste. Go ahead. Go ahead. Telling you. Deep Woods
Right back.
Off will clean the snot out those headlights.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Watch.
And don't be pointing your finger at me, young man.
I'm saying what?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on a sec. Wait for it.
If you see a flash of light, the thing caught on fire. So hopefully he won't.
Right.
No, it's going to do it.
So Terry, what are you working on in the garage right now?
I'm almost done with the 67 Chevelle. I'm getting ready, hopefully in about a week or two, put it back on this chassis.
So you got the floors almost done, seam sealed.
Floors. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna what's it called? Prime it, paint it, seam seal it, bed line.
It works. It cleaned it.
Oh, please.
I'm serious. Look, hold on. Let me take.
Go show them, Lewis.
Hold on.
Cleared it right on up.
Wait a minute. I got to unplug some stuff here. Hold on.
It's all right, Lewis. Don't hurt yourself. I believe.
Yeah, you have me dropping my computer in the dirt. I'll show you next time. Cut my light back on.
Look at that man over there in the dark.
Yeah, got me in the hood, man. They might try to get me.
Is that why you keep moving, ducking and rolling?
Well,
I mean,
Louis,
Yeah,
there's a
moving
guy behind you
target.
with a gun
I
coming.
got to look around the car here, make sure nothing comes to the side.
There's a guy coming behind you.
No, I'm good over here. The camera will catch you.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
it
go-
cleaned it. I mean, I think I had to put a little more elbow grease on it, but it did clean it up a little bit. Terry, what'd you use? Just a regular rag, or did you use
Yeah,
a
just
abrasive?
a little Deep Woods Off, regular rag. And what you want to do is because, like, you know, it clears the headlights as far as like it brightens them up. And then what you could do is you can hit it with some clear,
Okay.
like some U-pole clear.
Yeah. So I think they
Tell me.
put the driver's side new because it's real nice, and the other one's kind of fuzzy.
Yeah, work it in there. I'm telling you, you see the rag turn black, and you see the headlights, and you're like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
Because you know what it is. Like I had that problem with my Lincoln Mark 8. My Lincoln Mark 8, I had the diamond headlights. In 96 was the first and last year it came out with the clear headlights on the LSC model.
Mhm.
And it got dark. I was like, oh man, and those lights were like $800 a piece. I was like, never mind that crap.
Right.
So I was like, Deep Woods Off. My friend told me try it. I was like, get out of here. I did a Brian, and then I was just like, oh, look at this, because I tried the whole McGuire's thing and everything. And I was like,
Yeah.
Deep Woods Off.
Yeah, it took it off a little bit. Yep.
well, you can watch.
How long does it last?
You can go to Hey Maco Man on YouTube and watch Miss Molly
That's
doing
right.
when she did her own headlights.
It's a one of two videos on that channel.
I know.
One of two videos.
One of two.
I'm gonna go right now.
That's right.
What's the
Don't you-
other one?
Huh? It's when what's that name? The dude from Welder Up came and crashed the Mako convention,
Oh yeah.
and
Steve Darnell.
he brought up a couple of his hot rods and cleared the expo floor, and we all went out and he I don't know how long, but he was out there and he was trying. He likes his Mako guy, or the Mako guy that stops in there, and he kept trying to get somebody from corporate to call him. He wanted to do some type of sponsorship or
Did
work
they end up
with
doing
him. No, of course not. Our guys are so stupid. Our marketing department, that goes. I mean, not even a change of subject, but we go back to the Tuttles, and they messed around with the Tuttles, and went on, and finally, if you watch like season 2 or whatever, everything in Mako in their shop was covered up because that's when Snap-on was coming in there, or season 3 or whatever. And of course, they had like a 10-year run. And of course, when the whole thing fell apart, and the first words out of corporate was, "See what happened? We didn't get tangled up in that." And I'm like, yeah, but they had 10 years of making money,
Of hot,
you know?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I'm like, geez, you know,
That's crazy.
I had lunch. One time I had lunch with the CEO, the head guy at Mako, and he's like, this is right after Darnell was at the thing, and he goes, Brian, people really like that? I mean, that car was, because he had his 57 up there. He goes, that car doesn't even have paint on it.
Yeah,
And I was
right.
like, dude, there's a huge following for this. This guy, and a lot of people like this. And he's like, really? And I was like, oh, well, we get so many offers and ideas thrown at us. He goes, we got somebody that wants to remake, what is that, Cannonball Run, and they want to use a Mako tool truck and the race across the country. What do you think about that? And I said, we haven't signed up for that yet. But these guys,
Man, these bugs they're taking over, man.
So, Brian, you effectively made a time machine. How much older is your daughter now than she was in that video?
that was, I don't know what the date is on that. 4 years, 5 years.
Wow.
She had just learned. She just how old are you when you get to learn to drive? 16?
16, 15.
So she was 16, 17, and she's 21 now.
4 years.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, in a couple weeks I'm gonna have a get together to help me sand my bus, a sand party. So you're all welcome to come.
A block party.
Block party.
Sand
The sand block party.
Yeah, bring your own sandpaper because it's expensive. Yeah.
Do yourself, and do not buy your sandpaper at Harbor Freight. Buy decent sandpaper.
Yeah.
Because you'll go through 3 times more sandpaper than you ever went through, because I made that mistake already.
Did you?
Yeah.
To save a nickel, it costed me $1.50. So,
Wow.
Now, what do you think about those balls? Those sanding balls? Have you seen those? You put on your drill?
One of those.
Sanding ball. I haven't
Hold on,
seen
let me grab
that.
one.
Uh-oh, Jesus Christ. Easy, cowboy.
I'm
Easy.
knocking over cords. Hold on.
He's going to take the whole table with him.
I'm surprised the mosquitoes haven't flown him off.
Yeah, right. Like the flying monkey.
And you would think that he's down in Florida or something. Come on, man. I mean, I can't believe they have that big of a mosquito problem out there in Ohio.
Yeah, that's why my ass ain't outside on my porch.
Well, you're not that far. Where are you?
I'm in New
Pennsylvania,
York.
right? Oh, you're in New York?
I'm closer to you than him.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I thought you were in Pennsylvania.
It's amazing how many people think that I'm not from New York.
Yeah. That's what you're supposed to use to clean your headlight.
That's the headlight. Yeah, that's the headlight thing.
That's
No,
the headlight.
Or
thing.
either like a wheel, like you can polish a wheel, like the
that's not gritty enough.
The mother's ball.
This is a 400 grit, but you can get in different grits.
Huh. I don't know
Yeah.
about that. That's
I got that for to get in the rub rails. I hope.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Ooh. Yeah, well, you got to be careful with stuff like that, because then you get your stuff uneven. You got to use you want to use a block. You want to be careful using. I don't have any of my.
A lot of guys will swear by the longboard. You got to use the.
Yeah, but see, with his bus got a lot of curves in it. There's no straight panels on that bus.
Well, they make the flexible boards too.
Yeah, but he also got rivets in that thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I'm in a process.
Yeah. So why are we stripping it again?
Paint it.
Because I want the paint to stick. So I'm gonna sand the whole bus down, primer it, sand
Well,
it.
you're not
Why
bringing
don't
that
you-
metal. You just getting something so it could bite.
Yeah, yep,
Yo,
Okay.
so you're just scuffing it.
yeah.
You're not going to sand down. You're not going to sand it down.
Oh no,
you're
no,
just
no.
you're just
Scuff it.
scuffing it. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, then I would me personally. I mean, I would. Where are those 3M pads?
Scotch Brite.
Yeah, the 6x8s or whatever, the pads.
Yeah.
And I would just scuff it, and I would only clean up the areas that you really had to clean up. But
See, the problem is all those rivets. I mean, I got rivets everywhere.
yeah, but
rivets
the scuff,
everywhere.
when you scuff them like that, at least the scuff will go over and clean. I mean, like I said, you can clean that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the problem is, other than the top of the rivet's going to hold the paint, but then where it meets the metal,
Yep.
you're not getting in there.
Well,
You might have
the
to-
3M pads will. I mean, you just gotta. It's gonna be a little hard on the fingers.
It's a lot of work.
See, what he might have
Yeah.
to do he might have to put the thing in epoxy. Just put it in glue and then paint it.
Yeah,
Because epoxy sticks
I would
to
seal it. Yeah, I would seal it, and then probably that's a lot of
It's a lot of
landscape
epoxy,
there.
But, I mean, but like Ray says, I mean, he's gonna have to scuff like where the rivets or the head meets like the flat piece, and you're gonna have to go in there and you have to like twist it just to take the shine off.
And that's where it comes off. That's where the paint.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I know. I can show you on the tool truck because the idiots that did the truck. I mean, isn't there something like that etching primer or whatever? You got to get somebody a better body, man.
Yeah.
I just know how to light a match.
Epoxy primer. Get some epoxy primer. Epoxy that whole bus. Paint it.
Yeah.
Because that's going to stick to that shine. Because I mean, like you said, you're gonna have. I mean, you got thousands of rivets on that thing. You're gonna have to
You know,
go
that's-
each one.
That's making me think about like a media blast.
Yeah.
Terry, even like the waterborne stuff. Just this way, it'll get all those substrates and the rivets and the metal. It'll get everything, and then you can do an epoxy coat.
If you do like some kind of media, like like
Walnut?
or walnut. Well, walnut's a little that walnut.
More
I would think you would almost use like glass, and to rough everything up, and you just gotta, like I said, but don't use any chemical. Don't use any chemical. You'll
It'll show up somewhere.
Oh yeah, because you can't work. I mean, guys make that mistake. They get these car, you get your whole car dipped, and if you don't get everything out of it on a hot day, it starts running out and paint coming out from places. Or man, I tell you, I've seen some nightmares, and you can't clean. I mean, it's just hard to clean. But I was wondering, like I said, some kind. If you blast it, that might, or soda blasting. Soda blasting
I'm
is
gonna
pretty
talk to a
easy.
couple of those guys and see.
And then you don't use regular soda; you use pool soda. I mean, baking soda, or not baking soda, but you use pool soda for the blasting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got a guy. Matter of fact, Keith has a guy. I'm gonna call his guy.
yeah.
See what he's talking. I was gonna try to find somebody to do under the body so I can undercoat the whole bus, but nobody wants to get under there for some reason.
Yeah.
I would imagine it would be pretty easy because you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to put it up, and you just crawl into the thing.
Actually, you can almost. Well, I can sit up. When I'm sitting on the ground on my butt, I can sit up. It's pretty high.
I got what was
So
that? What is it? 3. I've got I got a 2x8 board, and then I cut that in half. I mean, I have one long one. That's what I drive up on, and then I got 2 4x8 pieces of wood. And I park when I work on the tool truck, I drive that up so all 4 wheels are up. And like I said, you could do anything and everything underneath of it, almost sitting up, and it makes it really nice. Just a little bit of height, about 4 inches. You know what I'm saying? About 4 inches up off the ground really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Of course, I got a little bigger belly, so make sure.
Yeah, make sure. Yeah, I'm probably
Make
gonna
sure
do
I have the
something like that
clearance.
too. Yeah, 'cause I'm gonna undercoat the whole under the bus. Stacy David sent me stuff to undercoat. So
Yeah.
Good
I
guy.
want to do that lizard skin stuff for heat. You know, to repel the heat and then undercoat it. That one guy that I think you had on your show, Ray.
Yeah, we
Was
did
it
have
your show?
somebody who did that. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was really interesting. I saved his website. I don't know what it was on the other computer, but they had that lizard skin stuff that was almost clear.
Right.
And I wanted to spray. I wanted to do that. That's one of the big things I wish. I really wish I just go ahead and do it, but I like to insulate the floor in the tool truck. That make a hell of a difference.
Yeah,
I'm doing
going
everything in that
2 inch.
Chevelle. I'm doing the inside floor, where the windows are. You know, like inside the door.
Yeah.
Everything.
I'm going with 2 inch on the floor, 2 inch insulation on the floor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And then
That's a big difference. It's a big difference.
Plywood on top of that.
Yeah, that's a huge. That makes a big difference.
Now, there's some guys putting radiant heat in the buses too.
Nice.
So I might. It depends on how much it costs. I might run the hoses and put it in later. You know what I mean? But at least I'll have it in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had my old truck. My old truck had propane, and it had a water heater in it, and that was I liked it because in the morning, I would just kick on the propane to take the chill out or to warm it up, and then after that I had the water heat, and it saved so much propane, and two, the water heat was more than enough. But it was just that if I try to run just the water heat, it would take all day, and to get especially if it was especially like on if it sat over the weekend, Monday morning, if you tried to just do the water heat, it would take all day because once that metal was cold, it took forever for it to warm up.
Yep.
And but I wish my new truck had water. And I just have propane, and it gets fairly expensive.
I'm gonna go with the diesel heaters too.
Yeah, those are really good. You just got to make sure you keep them clean.
Yeah,
they have a lot of problems, and all it takes is one little spider to get in there and make a little web across that thing, and it fucks your whole day up, dude. It's a pain in the balls. Yeah. So.
It's like that's the cause of most vinyl siding fires because spiders will get into the gas grills. They'll get into the orifices in the gas grill, and then it backs up, and the gas grill goes up, and everybody has them right outside their house. Yeah, the house goes up. You see it all the time.
Yeah, no, that's one of. I tell you, on our Facebook page, guys, every spring. Or, going into fall, they'll say, my heater's not working. And everybody says, you got to blow them out. You got to clean those spiders. And they all say, I don't have any spiders. Shit, we all have spiders, dude. They're fucking everywhere,
Yeah.
So it's always funny, but all it takes is one little spider with an egg sac or a fucking web, and it'll mess your whole day up. So...
Come on, spider, get me a drink.
Yeah, I'm put the heat. I'm also going with the wood burner furnace in it too.
Oh yeah,
small ones. Have you seen those mini ones? They make them small, man. They're like a foot by a foot.
You gotta find an old Volkswagen. They had that gas stove. I mean, they had that chunk of wood in there. Driving around with the foot. Yeah, damn Germans.
Hey, they gotta stay warm. Wait, fellas, I'm gonna jump off. These bugs are hurting on me.
Yeah, you're going. They think you're gonna have monkeypox when they get done with you.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna pass out. Lack of blood.
You better brush out your
beard. I'm about to head off myself. I gotta go take a shower and go to bed. I'm exhausted.
Get you a ride.
Hey Terry, hit me up this week sometime, man, so we catch up.
No, 100%. I was gonna do it anyways.
All right.
We gotta go and visit Ray.
Yeah.
Ray's too busy. He doesn't have any free time, so don't
I have
disturb
been-
him.
Ray,
now.
Ray's a busy guy.
I have been.
I was
busy,
thinking about that. So I gotta go hang out with Ray for a day or something like that. We gotta go get
over here, going to the UD, taking 30 pictures, eating.
Oh, man.
You look like you gained 5 pounds. Stop eating, man. It's coming down here. I got a little extra weight in my trunk, man.
So Ray,
Stop
when
that.
is the last day? When are you officially retired?
I've been retired for a month now. A month.
Been a
Oh,
month.
month. Okay.
First,
All right.
I was out on the first, so tomorrow is officially a month. Yeah,
Nice.
You
But
can't
what
tell
happened, Jesse?
tan lines.
yeah. I'm getting tan to get ready. Been
Yeah, look,
outside.
look all good. His hair's growing back and everything.
Yeah, well, you know,
I mean,
it's
Has
you know
anyone
what it
heard from
is?
Jesse John?
John is in. How can we put this? He's waiting on diagnoses for what's going on with him. He's in a world of pain, a lot of pain, leg pain. He's very uncomfortable, and he's not getting the answers that he needs right now. So he's home. I don't know. I last I texted him was earlier in the week, and I can tell even by his text he's not happy. So because he's in pain, and when you're in pain, it just
yeah.
No, it's miserable. So it's his back, right?
it started from the back, and then they found a tumor that they removed. They did a couple back surgeries, but it's nerve pain because it's either a burning pain or it's that ghost kind of pain. I know what he means because I have sciatica, and that's all nerve. You
Oh,
swear
God.
it's muscle, but it's not. It's nerves, and he just hasn't gotten the right combination of doctors yet. So he was looking to get himself into a place that would address the root problem, and I don't know if he has yet. I've been kind of trying to leave him alone, give him some breathing space, because I know
Right.
he probably wants to talk to people and be, but I know like if at some point you just can't, you
You're
just
hurting. You're miserable. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I
you
feel
hurt,
so
you
bad.
hurt, yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. So everybody give him a call or a text or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that first thing tomorrow.
Yeah. Let
I
him
don't
know
want to do it
what's
now
going
because, he's probably just getting to sleep.
Well, it was funny because it was a couple of weeks ago. I think he was in the hospital still, and I spoke to him one particular morning, and he says, "Yeah." He goes, "Did I call you last night at like 2 a.m?" I was like, "I don't know. My phone's off, dude. I don't know." He goes, "No, because I called a friend of mine at like 1:30 in the morning," and he goes, "And I didn't even know what time it was." He goes, "I thought." Because in here, he goes, there were no windows. He goes, I lost track of time. I thought it was like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he goes, my buddy was up, so we talked. So, yeah.
All right, fellas. Talk to you next week. Everybody stay safe.
All right, Lewis.
All right, Lewis,
What's
take care.
everyone?
All right.
Take
Later.
care, gentlemen.
Okay,
All
Terry.
right, Terry, take it easy.
Easy. All right. And then there were 2.
That's it, man. Yep. Got a lot to do this weekend, man. It's gonna be crazy. I hope I can get it all done.
What do you got going on?
Gotta put the brakes on the tool truck. Gotta do rear shocks. Gotta change the oil. Gotta pick up a fuel filter tomorrow.
All right. Where's Justin?
Huh?
I was going to say, Justin's in the chat. Where the hell is he? Justin, you want to come in and talk to us? Come talk with us. Anyway.
I had tires separate on me yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. I tell you, the thing is separated down. I'll have to send you a picture of it. I got it sitting over on the side here of the house, of the side of the garage, but it's on the sidewall and it's down by the rim. And there's like where the bead is formed right when it comes out of the rim.
Right.
There's like a lip, and right above that, it's separated there. And this is like my third one from this particular tire company, and they seem to only get like, I don't know, maybe 10,000 miles on them or 15.
What brand tire is that?
It is shit. I knew you were going to ask me that, and I can't remember. I'll have to look and I'll let you know. But
How old are they when they're letting go?
Well, I mean, like I said, this is I mean, I put 110, 115 miles a week on it. So this isn't that old of a tire. And of course, you know, the place I bought them from, I sent him a picture and said, hey, you know, this is the second time now this has happened. And of course, he's like, well, it's impact. That's impact damage. That's not covered under warranty.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I'm like, dude, I know the roads are shitty here, but, you know, like the top speed in the tool truck is, you know, 29.3 miles an hour, dude. You know, it's not like I'm, you know, Tokyo drifting it all over the place and bouncing off of curbs or whatever, you know.
Right.
And so I tried this time I'd gotten what were they, Ironman?
I've seen those.
I think is what these are, a USA tire. I mean, these were a little bit more. So I put that on. Of course, when I did it over at my buddy's shop, well, my buddy really helped me out. He did it. We were doing it, and I looked at the brakes, and I'm kind of close. So luckily, I have a set here. I mean, I always keep a handful of that stuff, and I thought about. I was like, well, maybe tonight I'll go do it, and I was like, I really
just
don't
saw
feel
a video.
like
You know, I watched that site just rolled in on YouTube, and they had it was a GMC or GM or GMC, I forget which one. Only had like, I don't know, 10,000 miles on it. It was complaining of a brake noise, and they showed the rotor all scored up and destroyed, and they showed the pads, and in the one pad, embedded in the pad, but now section cut in half, was a bolt. And they said this was this way from the factory. This was a brand new vehicle. This thing only had 10,000 miles on it. So how a bolt gets into a brake pad, it had to be from the brake pad manufacturer.
yeah, something fell in the mix or something.
Talk about, but you would think that would get QC'd out of the, I don't know. But I'm looking at it like, that's weird.
Yeah. So I know I'm hoping last time I did the brakes on this truck, whoever did them prior never lubed anything, and the pins were really. I mean, it took a lot of finagling to get the calipers and the pins out.
You know, that's the problem I had with my wife's car. I remember telling you about this months ago, where one pin came right out, and the other pin, which has a rubber
ball thing in it,
wouldn't come out, and I had to so now I bought the pins, and I said, you know what, let me get new caliper brackets too, and I have them sitting in the garage. I just haven't put them on yet. I'm damn lazy. I got to fix the shock in my Fiat too. I haven't gotten to that. The car's just sitting in front of the house. It's so easy. I'll do it tomorrow.
So I'm hoping that I don't have too much of a problem again. I mean, of course, when I finally got it all apart last time, you know, I really, I have the wire brush reamers, and I cleaned out, and I actually used a like a burr. But I actually cut inside I cut the rust out and everything, man. I just really cleaned, and I didn't enlarge the hole, but, I cleaned them out. And
see, that was the problem I had with my wife's car. They're blind holes, and there was no rust because I sprayed it with, I think probably some brake clean or some carburetor cleaner, and then put I think first I put like a Q-tip in there to see what would come out, and I didn't get rust. It was just, I don't know, those damn rubber things.
Really? Yeah, I hate those rubber ball things.
Yeah, me too. It's a sleeve. It's about an inch long.
Yeah.
With like ribbed, you were like 5 ribs on it.
Yeah, I don't know what that whole design or how that's supposed to slide in there, right? I don't know. It was
seized. It wasn't sliding. It was seized.
Yeah, I had I don't know what I did with it, but I have a 6-inch or a long I don't know what I did with it. I have a long burr,
Yeah, with a long shaft on it.
a long shaft
Like a
one.
head porting burr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Back teeth too.
yeah, it's it doesn't have, it actually has, it's like a Q-tip. It's on the sides and it has a rounded top on it.
Oh, cool.
So, like I said, and it almost fits. It's just a hair smaller than what into the hole. So all I gotta do is kind of bounce it around in there.
Right.
And it cleaned out. There was so much stuff in there. And I got it so the pins, but my old truck was a pain. And like I said, until you really you got to use like really high temperature grease.
Yeah, brake grease.
Yeah, you got to use really high temperature. I have some
my friend,
BG stuff. BG.
My friend from Gunk had sent me some. They had some, and the first one I bought was Permatex. Permatex makes a line of it also.
Yeah,
and
the very first time I did it, I normally just use anti-seize, the silver.
Yeah.
And that caked. I mean, when I had to do the brakes the second time, that stuff caked up into like a little ball.
Yeah.
And I got some German stuff that's copper, or it's I think it's copper, right? It's
copper anti-seize too, because I have that.
And that's high temperature. I think that said it was. I think the can said 1600 degrees or something like that, or 1800. I mean, it's good stuff. We used it, and I did that the second time around, and never had done that. No, I did not do that for the tool truck this time. I did it last time I changed brakes. I was on the road. I was at a shop. I said, dude, can I borrow a jack? And the guy goes, what's wrong? And I said, I got to do brakes. And he's like, you going to do brakes now? And I said, I got to do brakes now. I said, I thought I can get through the night. And unfortunately, this is where I'm at. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And of course, he didn't have it. He just had regular anti-seize. So I can only imagine the mess I'm going to have.
So anyway, last week, I thought we made some real progress.
Yeah, we did. I want to tell you something.
Oh, good. I want to talk about that because I talked to a few people and I told them the story. I was even telling my wife, and I said, I really feel like we had a great conversation. I said, and I think I broke through the wall. I think we got somewhere. So Tell me, what are you thinking?
No, Ray, I almost texted you the next day, and I didn't want to sound mushy or anything, but I wanted to say thank you because I'm even getting goosebumps now, Gray. I'm serious because it actually
good.
I actually felt I don't want to say relieved, but I felt so much better. Just like, because I didn't want to sound funny, but when I was saying, well, where do I start? Or what do I do, And it just, it was really good. I was going to laugh about it or say LOL on this, but like in 3 weeks, you got to kick me in the ass again about this because, Well, but I do have to say that I dug out the 9-inch from the shed. It's out in the back. The dog warned me that there was something strange in the backyard.
That's great.
Lucy goes, hey, what's something's going on out there.
How is this? Well, you got to get it inside before she starts peeing on it.
Yeah, well, there was a pretty good nest in that third member.
Oh, okay.
Because it's all. The whole rear's stripped. There's nothing in it.
Oh, okay.
So I had taken, and actually I was trying to remember where the axles are, and they're actually right around the corner here are the axles.
Nice.
So I'm hoping, along with this weekend, I can make a little more progress with getting that stuff from there into the garage and making room in the garage.
Right.
For.
Well, listen, don't feel bad about being mushy. It's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. And I felt it. And like I said, everything I said to you last week, my wife agreed with me. She goes, you said the right thing, because she saw me go through it, and she goes, that. She goes, I saw it, and she felt it too. She goes, I know what you feel. And she goes, she can't know it firsthand, but she knows it through me.
Yeah.
She says, it's a personal thing with you, with the owner and the car. And I mean, just to work, it's cathartic. So just to work on it again is good and positive.
Yeah.
It'll make you feel good even about yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get to drive it, she goes, now I understand why when you were driving it and it wasn't, didn't have an interior, it wasn't finished. I would have driven it without a nose if I could have kept the radiator in place. She goes, I realized that it wasn't about being finished. It was about just now it was drivable again. And then and it'll get finished. You'll get there. I said, yeah, but you have more fun. And it's, you know what it is? You owe it to yourself. You really owe it to yourself, because you deserve it and you work for it, and it's, and it's yours, and you should have it back. And,
I can't. I mean, I was no, it was that was a good talk, and even like I said, here we're a week later, and I've done a little bit towards it. I not as much as I wanted to. I had
any positive motion, any forward motion is forward motion.
Yeah, and I looked.
I was talking with the guys down at the UD, and because he's got my buddy at the UD, the two guys down there, one of them's got 30 some odd cars.
Yeah, that place looked pretty big.
It is. It's huge. Now, luckily, most of his cars are all together. He just can't use them because you can't use that many cars. But he knows that, it's a problem. And as soon as he sells one, he'll buy another one, even though he knows he shouldn't. But we talked about that, and there's certain cars that just always mean more than others. And he even has cars like he doesn't want to drive because he doesn't want to, risk taking them out. And I said, but you realize if you never take it out and drive it again, you'll never drive it again. Right. And that's sad because we don't get to come back and do it again, man. It's not like, it's not like you get round two. So it really becomes about you. It's the owner. It's about us. That's what it is. And
so on the UD, what is that like? I mean, is that just like how many guys are renting out the place, or is it just one guy and he sub rents out places, or is it just a group of guys? I mean,
actually what it is the building is a multi-leveled indoor parking garage. That's belongs to this apartment complex. But going back years ago, before I was even associated with it, the owner of the building was a car guy. So he would rent out spots. He took one of the floors and just rented them out to his friends so they could keep their cars, because they it's in Queens, and these guys, it's totally urban. They don't have garages, or some might not even have driveways, or, they don't have a safe place to put the car. So I think he just started doing that for his own friends, and then word got out, and slowly it had to be word of mouth. Like, you had to know somebody to get in there. Next thing you know, 3 floors of a four floor parking garage were filled with rods, customs, and and classics. And I came in on it like that, and then I guess the building got sold because now a woman took it over, and they came in and just said, we got it. The people in the building were complaining. Like, somebody found out that this parking structure was really for the apartment building, and the people in the apartments had nowhere. They were street parking.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's wall-to-wall cars out there. So somebody got the word and then started putting on pressure and saying, hey, that's supposed to be for us. What's going on? So the woman came in and kind of cleaned house. She raised the rent on the spots. And a lot of guys that were in there, especially legacy guys, said, I'm not going to pay that kind of money. And and they left. A lot of guys left.
Uh-huh.
Guys like Dougie and them and Joe, they stayed. I think Doug has like 10 spots in this place.
Wow.
And I think they go for like $350 a month,
Wow.
But it's indoors. It is, for all accounts, heated. It's not really air conditioned, but it's there's drains in the floors. You could wash your car inside. I was in there over the weekend, and it was a hot day when I went on Saturday, and it was cooler inside. It was definitely cooler than it was outside. You could feel the difference.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of come back a little. Like Doug has his own area, toolboxes, equipment. It's like little shops everywhere you go. Like in guys' spots, everybody's got a toolbox, or there's a drill press and a press or a grinder or something.
Yeah.
And everybody just leaves their stuff out because everybody either knows Doug knows everybody, but it's you're in there because you know somebody. So it's the honor system. You got locked doors. Each level has a door that has to be open to get up in there. So, it's the honor system. I mean, people may borrow something, but they put it back.
Yeah.
And if they break it, they tell you, I don't know really how much of that actually goes on. Maybe a little bit, but, it's a nice place.
I saw the picture from that 55, or not the
T-Bird.
Thunderbird.
That's his spot right there.
And I kind of, of course, I'm like you said, I look behind the picture.
Always.
I'm always looking behind, and I was like, God. And I tell you, even though I'm thankful for having a garage that I have. And having the space, I mean, I could, of course, if we just clean up a little more, I'd have more space or whatever, and I can do a lot. Of course, everything I have is on wheels. My blasting cabinet, both my parts cleaner, my drill press, my 2 drill press.
Wow,
everything's on wheels. I have, I even have the planer, the saw table, and my, I have a bandsaw. I mean, everything's on wheels,
Right.
So everything I do has to be moved around and have access to. But I tell you, I'd love to have a place or have something with a couple of guys. But I get that scare of having what happened to me at the warehouse with the Mako stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because, things get out of hand or out of control. I was just curious on how that worked or how that place was.
Yeah, this place is, like I said, it's honor among men. We're on his floor. He's on one corner on the end where the windows are, and on the far other end, it's the original guy. Well, he's kind of like an OG too, but there's the older guys, the guys in their 70s and 80s. They have brass era cars. I mean, there's I think a Rolls Royce down there.
Wow.
I mean, these are the older stuff, and it's funny because every year, like someone disappears. There's one less guy. It happens. Even the guy with this Lincoln, he was decided he didn't need it anymore. He wasn't using it, so it's time to sell it. So off it went.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
My buddy is already, he spends a lot of money on a car. And what's he doing? He's already looking for the 4-wheel disc brake conversion. He was ready to pull the trigger on it, but then he wanted to change the wheels too. And he's going to put like 20s on this thing.
Yeah.
So he sent me pictures of the wheels and all. And I said, well, you got to think of something. I said, if you have a normal disc brake behind a 20-inch wheel, it's going to look like a clown car. It's going to look stupid. You got to have a big rotor. So he was looking at like 15-inch rotors.
Wow.
But the brake company told him, listen, get your wheels first. And then we'll take some measurements and we'll know if the 15-inch rotor will fit or if you have to use a 13. But the sizes, the price goes up dramatically for every inch of rotor. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, to go from a 13 to a 15-inch rotor, he's going to go another $1,500 or something.
Wow.
Like that. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So
now I thought about, I saw your email and I was thinking about it. Cause because I was wondering, like, a very popular conversion or for the Fords. Now, of course, I don't know about the Lincoln year wise. Is Granada spindles and all that stuff. I didn't know or if you went with something as new as, I don't know if something from a Fox body would,
Well,
but he's not putting a rack in, right? He's still
No.
using it. See, that's the problem.
I can answer your question. Jeep and Al. Remember Al Handy?
Uh-huh.
He used to come on Thursdays all the time. And he's still around. He listens to the Sunday show and all. I sent him an email too, and he says, hey, maybe something would interchange from another car or a truck. And I said, interchange? I have a Hollander manual. Like,
Yeah.
you idiot. So I pull a Hollander manual off the shelf. I go to Lincoln, bang, I look at suspension, I look at spindle, boom. Okay, I get number 448, flip the pages, go to boom, 448. A 62 Lincoln, the interchange is 61 to 64 Lincoln. That's it. Right and left side are the same. So I was talking to Chris today, and I told him that. He actually found the guy with whoever was getting the brakes from wanted him to send him his spindles.
Uh-huh.
I guess, I don't know if it was for a fit issue or for whatever, but he needed, you got to use your original. So he wanted to have another set.
Yeah.
Just in case he ever wanted to put the car back or whatever, or if these got modified. So he found a set some guy in PA had him. He's going to pay like $100 a piece.
Yeah. It's not
Good.
too bad, I don't
For a
think.
good used set. And this way, in case they're modified, he can always go back. He was also thinking now, hey, maybe this is the time I should pull the control arms off, have them powder coated, because you're going to see a lot through these wheels.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of real estate there.
I'm like, well, there you go. While you're there, you might as well. I said, but I felt like the conversation we had last week. I said, Chris, why don't you do this? I said, why don't you get the brakes on the car? I know this is going to be doing work twice, but it's like Chris's toilet. Once you get it off the floor the first time, it's easy every other time.
Yeah.
I said, put the brakes on the car, get your wheels on, cruise it for the summer, enjoy it. I said, then over the winter, if you want to lay it up and then pull the brakes off, pull the control arms off, you can send them out for powder coat.
Yeah.
I said, it's not that big of a job, really. And he says, yeah, that's a possibility. So we'll see what he's going to do.
Yeah. No, because I have, like I said, I've got an extra set of Granada spindles. I have a set of Fox body spindles. I have another set of Mustang spindles. And then I have my spindles.
If you ever happen to come across a guy that has a GM Colonnade style car, like that 73 to 77, when they went a little bigger, the Chevelles and the Montes, and I got a listing somewhere. I have a listing in my drawer. There's probably about, I don't know, 60 cars. I had bought a brand new set of spindles, rotors, and bearings. It's also the bigger rotor. It's like an 11 and a half inch rotor. Because I was told by Willwood I could use those with the where all the front end stuff I bought from them.
Oh.
So I went to install it in the car and found out, well, the ball joints didn't fit. The taper was different. And I think I might have told you this story. I called Willwood and I got the owner on the phone. This guy, what the hell's his name? Is it Doug? I forget. But I got him on the phone. He's got a 65 GTO. So I said, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm working on my 65 GTO and these parts don't fit. They're incompatible. He goes, well, who told you to get them? I said, well, the fellow I was talking to on your end who sold me the parts, all the suspension stuff. He says, oh, yeah, well, sure as hell wasn't me. I said, wait a minute, I got the receipts all here. I said, I think his name is on it. And I gave him the guy's name. He says, oh, he goes, that's my son. I was like, well, maybe you got to take your son out and have a little talk with him. He goes, yeah, you need to use the same spindles you had. You could use the smaller spindles. I was like, okay, all right. I said, I have them. The problem is I've spent like 300 and change on these new spindles, rotors, and bearings that now I've painted and assembled and can't use and can't bring back because I've painted them. So if it just happens to come up I have a brand new set of spindles, bearings, and rotors that are definitely for sale.
Yeah.
And they're sitting in my den. They're sitting on my floor in my den. And it was funny because next to it, I had a box of headlights, all projector beam, off of newer cars that a friend had given me. So I made a post. It's about a year ago, and I said, "Yeah, this is where I go if I how did I put it? I said if I need to see the light, or if I need a break or need to see the light, I come over here." The brakes and the lights.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my buddy at the shop about that because I know that he has a guy come by and this guy buys headlights because it's body shops. They really need the control boxes.
Right.
So he sold one that I had out of an Impala. He got me $100 for it. I'm like, okay, cool. So I asked him a while ago. I said, Mike, when the guy comes, I said, let me know. I said, because I got 3 other headlights. They were like Honda, 2 Hondas, and the other one might have been an Acura. And he says, all right, I only see the guy a couple times a year now, but, So, of course, I happened to be talking to his dad a week or so ago, and I told him that. He goes, oh, the headlight guy just came like 2 days ago.
Oh.
And they went up on top and dragged everything down. I'm like, damn it. I said, you know what? I knew he wouldn't remember that I had 3 headlights. So I went down to the shop and I saw Junior and I said, all right, listen. I said, I know you just saw the headlight guy. He goes, oh, right. You got headlights. Right. I said, so you know what I'm going to do? I said, I'm going to take them out of my den, put them in a box. I'm going to put a tag on each one with my name on it. I'm going to bring them down here to you, and you can stick them where you put the headlights. And this way, when the guy comes again,
they're already here.
You'll know. And the next day, that's exactly what I walk in with this big box. I put it on the floor, and he's like, what's that? I'm like, the headlights. He's like, headlights. I'm like, remember yesterday we talked about headlights? Like, yeah. Got my name on the tag. I said, when the guy comes, whatever you get, let me know. I don't even care. Now they're out of my den now, So
That's
I told my
good.
wife, see, hon, I'm walking through the house with this box. I put it in the living room. She goes, I know, she's cool. Like, she doesn't even get worked up anymore. She just looks and like she'll look up from her book and then look back down and maybe make another trip, sit down and she's like, all right, what's with that? I was like, I'm making progress. Those are going out. Really? You're throwing it out? I'm like, no, I'm not throwing it out. I said, bring it to the shop. I said, that box is gonna turn into money.
Yeah.
And I don't know when. It might be 4 months, 5 months, but I said, I'm gonna get some green in my hand from that box. I said, so that's why I saved the stuff, because it's worth something.
Yeah, your wife would be like my wife. She'll say, well, take a couple more boxes out.
Oh, yeah. Now that you're on a roll.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny. My older daughter bought me, this is going back, I don't know, last year for my birthday, some lottery tickets, but they were like either $5 or $10 tickets, and I won like about $120. I finally just cashed them in.
Oh, you're lucky.
I'm the worst guy to give lottery tickets to, or the scratch offs, tickets or gift cards. I lose. I had a $130 rebate from Rock Auto for struts that I bought.
Yeah.
And I let the damn gift cards sit so long they expired, and I lost the $130.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with that stuff.
I'm terrible with that stuff.
I said, don't even give it to me. Don't even freaking give it to me. But these, I scratched them. I got like $130. So now last week we went shopping, and I had 2 more that she had given me, I think, for Father's Day. So I won I think I like $10. I'm like, okay. I said, here we go. I'm starting a trend. I put the $10 in the machine, and I bought 2 $5 cards.
I
just scratched them off today. One of them got me $10, and the next one gave me $5. I said, okay, I'm up 5. I'm actually at 15 because I didn't buy the first ones.
Yeah.
And then my wife is reading it, and she says, hey, wait a minute. It says here that if you scratch a yellow or a red letter in a word, it's a triple value. I'm like, right. Instead of 10, that card's 30. I said, now I got $35.
Wow.
That's it. I'm going to be the new scratch off king.
That's it. This is your new calling.
Right.
And then
you can't play the dollar cards. You got to play the $5 or the $10 cards.
Yeah.
Go for the bigger cards.
Yeah, go for the bigger ones.
Yeah.
That's how the ones. That's how they pay for the bigger ones, because you lose on the ones.
I think I've won like $1 here and there and $1 and nothing. But,
well, my luck. Okay. my luck, the way my luck goes with that is if I buy a $5 ticket or scratch off,
Uh-huh.
okay, I win $5.
Okay.
Okay. It's telling me something. Don't do it because you're not going to make, this is not easy. And the perfect example was Vegas this year. Okay. In February for the Mako convention. I'm not a gambler. I'm very bad at it. Okay. And I've got tons of stories about me gambling, and none of them are. I've only had one good experience with gambling, but so I was at Vegas. I walked through, got $10. I play $10. I lose $10. Literally, in the 14.2 seconds that I was. So I get home from Vegas and I'm walking through a parking lot and I find $10. That's how it came back to me.
Wow.
And that's I mean, and the $10 bill had been laying there in the parking lot because it had been driven over because, it had all the imprints from the road and everything. It wasn't like, but I looked up and said, okay, I understand not to gamble. You know what I'm saying? And the last time we were at Caesars, this was a couple years ago. And of course the wife, she's pretty good at it. She's over there playing the dollar slot machines. You know what I'm saying? And, she's like up to $1,800 or whatever, she's just plugging along. And, but we were getting ready to leave Caesars. We're waiting for the shuttle to pick us up. And we sit down and the wife is playing. And I said, well, all right, I'll play. And she's like, oh, you want to lose some more money? And I was like, yeah, I want to lose some more money. So, of course, I feed it and I hit $800.
Nice.
And I'm like, that's it. I'm going to be the only sucker that's going to be on the plane with money going home.
Right.
So I'm getting ready to hit the cash out button. And of course, there's this little old lady, and she's like, keep playing. You broke it, man. You broke it. Keep playing. And I said, there's no way in the world I'm playing. And of course, the floor guy or pit boss or, the guy comes over, and of course he puts his hands on my shoulder, because I'm getting up, and he puts me. He goes, where are you going? I said, I'm cashing out of here. And he's like, you're not going to play anymore? Let me get you, do you want something to drink?
Yeah.
You want steak and egg? Because this is morning time. This is in the morning, we're waiting. I said, no, buddy, I'm leaving with the cash. So I hit the button, and I want to tell you something. I almost had sex with this old lady because by the time I'm trying to get out, she had slid in underneath of me, and she was dropping money in there,
Hot machine, yeah.
Yeah, so she was going, I go and cash out. So I'm standing there, and the guy, that floor guy comes over and goes, what are you doing here? And I said, I'm waiting for my shuttle. And he goes, not in here. If you ain't playing, get out of here.
Son of a bitch.
So the wife is still playing. So I walked out and sat on, they had those Jersey walls up on the sidewalks, sat there and waited. And sure enough, about 30 seconds later, he sends a girl out with a little drink stuff. Do you want to play? I was like, yeah, you tell a guy to get, go pound sand,
Right. Yeah. Right.
So then I kind of figured that I was thinking, and then I realized the money I lost the week I was in Vegas was almost the $800 I won back.
Okay. All right.
So I realized, I try not to be that superstitious about stuff, but somebody looks out and says, Brian, you're not supposed to be doing this. This is not the easy way. You got to hard work, blah, blah, blah. And so
we were talking about that today because my wife's, watch me. She goes, how much can you win on those things? I'm like, well, with this one, you got to have at least 3 words, and then it's like, that's like 10. You get like $5, you get $10. I said, then you can get, then they'll go up to like, I think it was up to 20 and 50 and 100, but you got to have like 6, 7, 8 words, 9, 10 words get you $100,000. That's got to be next to impossible. So she says to me, can you imagine what it would be like? Like people do these things, they scratch off and they win like $15 million. Can you imagine? I'm like, no, I can't. She says, well, what would we do? Like, now it's funny because I just met yesterday. I had a 2-hour meeting with this woman from my retirement plan, from the pension plan, and we're talking about options. And there's so many different ways I can play this. And again, we threw a lot more stuff out on the table. We clarified some stuff, but now we're thinking again. And I said, well, we wouldn't have to worry about that damn pension fund. That's for sure. I said, it's just the taxes, I said, 15 million. Yeah, I couldn't imagine winning $1 million. I can't imagine winning 100,000. I said, if I won $500, I'd be like the happiest guy in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't set my sights big because I never win big.
Yeah. Now there's guys, I have guys on my route that, they play those things, like crazy, Yeah. Well, I did have one time, I had one guy, he was playing pick 3, pick 3 numbers or whatever. And it was funny. He had moved out. He's, I think, in Arizona now or something. But, one day I walked in and he's like, how much is my bill? How much do I owe? And I told him, and he goes, all right. And he writes out a check for the full amount, and I was like, hey, is everything okay? You're not mad, because, most guys just don't pay off like that.
Right.
And he was like, well, last week when you came in, I played your license plate number.
No.
And, he said, I did the, whatever the 3-box square times 2, whatever it was, and he won some money, So, and I mean, his bill was something like 300 and something, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like it was, completely outrageous, but it wasn't like it was $50, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. I just didn't know if you were firing me or something, paying it off or whatever. He goes, oh no. He goes, I figured since I won and it was your license plate, I'll
pay what I owe you.
I'll pay what I owe you. So I just thought that was funny,
You have a warped sense of justice,
Yeah.
It's like, no, justice would be here. Let me pay the bill, and here's $100 for having a good license plate number.
Yeah.
That would be justice.
But it was funny, and then I'm not gonna lie, I have a few guys that literally would die for a scratch off.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are so bad. And so I used to stop before going into their shop. I would stop by 7-Eleven and I'd pick up a handful of scratch offs. And then I would take the scratch offs and, like, let's say for this magnetic set, I'd put a scratch, buy the tool, get a scratch off.
Yeah.
And this guy could not resist, dude.
Oh,
I would,
man.
sell him a scratch off. We would stick it on anything, and he'd buy it just to scratch it off.
Boy, that's like being a drug dealer.
Yeah, it was bad. You see him. I would stop and get coffee there at 7-Eleven, and he'd be in there with a hand. He literally had this one guy. He literally had that scratch off dust on his work uniform. I mean, it wasn't car stuff. It was scratch off dust on him. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, that's why you can't win, because you do nasty things like that. That's your payback. I mean, that's just playing to a guy's weakness, man.
Yeah, I know. That's
really
terrible.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
But so I figured I've had, I mean, over the years. So, and it's funny because somebody will say something, and I'll say, I'll say, well, I'll just win what I paid or real close. I might be a couple dollars short. If I buy 10, I'll win 8 or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but it's very rare.
It was about 3-4 years ago. Snap-on did that. They had a promotion where it was like a tiered system. However much you spent, they gave you these little cards.
Yeah.
To scratch it. And and I gotta say, like, I'm like, okay, wow, he just gave me like 5 cards. Like, okay, I'm scratched off. Like, man, how do I get 5 more? Like, okay, spend another $1,000. Like, yeah, and get 5 more cards that you don't win. I'm like, but it was the same thing. It's like it's the lure of getting that big prize, and of course, that roll carts and toolboxes. There's all sorts of cool stuff, grand prize or whatever. But you got to buy more tools.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, you bastards.
Yeah. Tell you, it's crazy, but yeah, it's funny.
It
Yeah,
is.
they say I read something, or like I say, if you play,
Could you imagine if you had like 3 or 4 rolls of those tickets in the tool truck?
Yeah.
How you could clean up? I wonder what you got to do to become a state lottery official, like
I don't know.
like your own 7-Eleven, because
I don't know.
wow.
That's all I need. The only problem is it'd be like, why the guys go, how come you don't have energy drinks or
Beef jerky.
beef jerky on the truck? Because I said I drink them and eat it all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't, that willpower. I got a buddy of mine owns a gas station, and his wife sits there and plays the lotto tickets, and he's like, we have to pay for those. I mean, they're just not free. We got to pay for those. So if it doesn't win,
Yeah. Well, she's hoping she'll keep playing until she hits a winner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes it doesn't work that way.
That's funny.
I had a guy, Jim was a character. That's the guy that took me on my adventure on repoing that car. He was, and he's the one that talked with the cigarette the whole time.
Yeah.
The ashes never came off. I don't know how tight he packed those things, but they never. But he was a constant player, and he would always have them split the tickets because he didn't want to pay the taxes.
Oh yeah.
And he would want them to split the tickets, and of course they really can't do that. But he'd find somebody new or whatever, and split the ticket so that he didn't have to pay. And he did that one time to me. He's like, "Go cash this ticket for me," and I'm like, it was like $1,500 or something. And I'm like, I'm not paying taxes on this,
Right.
So
that's what happened once. I did hit a ticket. It's got to be about 20 years ago, and I think we got like $1,400 was the payoff. But you had to pay. That was like after tax, and of course I had to hand it over. I didn't get to keep it. I'm like, damn. It's like, from now on, I'm going to do this and not let you. I'm going to do it without you knowing about it.
Without anybody knowing, yeah.
But then I found out that next year we did our taxes, and we had an accountant who was a family friend, and did you have any losses this year? I'm like, well, I mean, gamble. You don't gamble. I'm like, well, wait, we did have this lottery ticket. He goes, really? How much? I said, well, we ended up netting like $1,400 after taxes. He goes, oh, okay. He goes, good, because I can put in. You had $1,400 of tickets that didn't pay you off. He goes, we can wash it. I'm like, how do you do that? He goes, you're able to do that up to a certain, and with him, everything was up to,
a certain amount.
Limit, as long as we stand to that limit, no one's going to ever look at you. He goes, yeah, you'll get that back. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. We have he's not a friend of mine. I know of him, but he's a friend of my other buddies, and that's all he does is play scratch offs, and he's won some $10,000 ones.
Wow.
Couple of them. But the funny part is, he, you have like up to 365 days to whatever the time allowance is, or however 185 days or whatever it is. But he'll hold the tickets out to save up the ones that didn't win, so that he's got show that how much he lost to
you just
win.
pick them up off the ground. People throw them away.
Yeah, well, I know, but I mean, he had a pretty big one. I think it was 50,000 or something.
Wow.
And he was asking everybody for if you have any tickets.
I don't know if you can wash that much. Yeah.
I don't know, but he wanted to whatever the percentage was. I think there's a percentage.
Yeah,
so he was out scraping up tickets.
Wow. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. It's not always that great to win because now you got to figure out how to work around the winning. It's like now it becomes more work than anything.
Yeah. Well, that's us humans in general. It's just like working on cars. And, they have a procedure on how to do it. And then, of course, we call it flat rating because we'll try to not take this one thing off, or we'll try to modify this to get this, and sometimes you kind of win. Sometimes you spend more time.
Right.
That's why I always laugh. I was in the shop today and they had a 911 in there. Not a newer one, my vintage year, 2000, I guess, or maybe a little older. Maybe it was a 97 time frame area.
Uh-huh.
And they were asking me about something, and I was like, look, dude, I'm telling you right now, you open up the book, and when it says pay on the first thing to do is disconnect the battery, that's where you start. Just follow the line, follow the procedure, fix the car, and you're done. Because you're going to say, oh, who needs to disconnect the battery? And you're going to go to line 14 to start, and you're going to fry something. Those cars aren't meant for that type of, flat rating. Just start with one and follow through, and you'll be just fine.
Right.
It'll save you more time and headache in the long run.
Yeah.
So that's one thing about those German cars. You can see the part, you can see the bolt, and it never fails because you got to take this bolt and then you realize it comes out from the backside. And that's why that's why you got to take the transmission out first before you did that, because that bolt would hit. So I don't know, Ray, but
I'm looking. I was doing an inventory of this Holley sniper setup I got.
Yeah.
Seeing what I need. I mean, the guy didn't even give me the linkage to go between them. I have to buy that's like $50-$60.
Wow.
But I was looking on Holley's site, and they, even in the manual, they show using an external fuel pump in the rear, and there's a pre and a post filter that goes around that fuel pump. Now, let me see. I was writing down some prices here. It was like getting scary. Linkage kit $60. The external bypass fuel regulator is $219. The Earl's liquid filled gauge is $40. Okay, the fuel pump, their fuel pump, it's like a dual vane, $516. Like what? And then the pre and post filters are $124 and $125. Like, there's another grand. Just then I'm looking though, but this guy had what he used was a sending unit that had a pump on it, just like a factory GM setup, and it's Holley's. That's their muscle car setup.
Uh-huh.
So if you use that, you don't need the external pressure regulator because it's regulated through that. You don't need a return line because it returns on itself. Like, okay, well that's probably why he did that. I'm thinking, okay, but of course the one that he bought isn't going to fit in my car because it's made for a 55 Chevy, and so that's like, what was that, $200 something bucks
for the fuel pump?
It's for the in-tank assembly.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm and then I'm looking at, you got to do everything with like, or with AN fittings. So I got to get a selection of AN fittings, and I got to get, I think everything is probably -8. So I got to get a wrench. I need a -8 wrench, and Yeah, so I'm just trying to make a laundry list. I'm going to get in touch. I was talking to Tori. We're going to talk to somebody at Holly. I know John was using the guy too. He said there was a tech guy. He says you call him at night. The guy said call at night. He goes, not during the day. Call at night. He goes, and he spent a lot of time with John on that Camaro.
Yeah.
I got to find out all the stuff I need now.
So is that all though? Is that all? You got everything else there, right?
Well, I got 2 throttle bodies. I got the controller unit. The ECM is built into the 1 throttle body. He gave me the all the harnesses. He gave me the oxygen sensor. I have to get that plate because it's a clamp-on oxygen sensor. So I got to get the clamp-on plate with the gasket and the stainless steel straps, so I could drill into my jet hot coated collector.
Yeah. Is that you only put it on one side there, right?
Yeah, which I Joe and I had talked about that. I said, now you're really only monitoring one side of the engine. So that could be a clean side. Let's say the other side, you could have a bad piston, and you could have, that could be ridiculous. So, but that's how they do it, just with one. I said, you know what? You got an H pipe. What about putting it in the H pipe, right in the H?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, because you could have a problem.
It's not the full flow or full force of gases, because by the time it goes into the H, it slows down. There's only a percentage, I guess, goes into the H. It's really made to balance. But that was my thought. I don't know. So, yeah. And then but it's nice with this in-tank system, you don't have to run a return. So that's one less thing you have to do. And then if I don't have to wire the external fuel pump, that's nice. That's one less thing to do. But I've heard a couple of guys having trouble with the fuel injection systems, and I'm trying to figure out what their problems were.
Is that because but even the others, not yours, but the others, if it was a single. Even no matter what on the Sniper, it's only 1 O2 sensor.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Phytech does the same thing. And I guess it's a wideband. Yeah. Yeah.
It seems. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's kind of what they do.
I
don't know. They get away with it, but
wonder how or.
I was watching a video on YouTube about how to set up the system, and it was a Holly video, so it was the Holly Tech. And the only thing that I didn't like was you went into the handheld controller and you do a pre-start procedure the first time. And then, of course,
I found it.
What's that? Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It was sitting right here in front of me the whole time.
Yeah. If you I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a different distributor, because if you want to use the timing control, you need either a Holly, there's something dual sync distributor, or an MSD distributor. It's like the dual sync, and they got 2 of them. Again, I got to get an answer, because they have one distributor that's a standalone, and it's like $281. Beautiful. But then they have one that comes with a coil and like a separate CD, like it looks like an MSD box. That's probably the one that does all the timing control. That's $500. Okay. So not only do I have to find someone who can give me the answers, I got to find someone who's going to give me a break.
Yeah, no shit.
So we'll see. But that was a question I had. I've never, in all the stuff I've had to do, I've never played around with the AN fittings before. I never had to, except for like on a carburetor or whatever, where it was a pre-made line. So I'm thinking my fuel line now goes. It's a 3/8 aluminum tube that I plumbed. I think I put a flare and a nut on it and went right into my mechanical fuel pump. So I got to take that out. You got to do away with the mechanical pump, and I have to go into the AN fitting on the line that's going to come from the throttle bodies. But I'm thinking you could take a piece of tubing, and maybe use like a junction block to put the line in and then come out.
Right.
With the line, right. So you can.
Yeah.
It's just a regular single flare on that stuff, I think, right? For the AN.
Yeah, I've watched a couple videos. They seem to be very simple or really easy to work with.
Is that when they use the 37-degree flare? Do you know? 'Cause
I can't remember. I know the 37. I know the 37, in fact, is for oil lines.
okay.
That's all the and I don't know if you ever remember back in the old days when you put your like the mechanical oil gauge.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you did it with a brake, with a copper line or a steel line, like the first time I did it with the steel line, it always leaked.
Right.
And that's because the brake line, when you used not tap and die, but when you used fitting for a brake line, is a different angle than for.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, when you switch back over to that, you didn't want to use that neoprene hose. It's because it was they had the brass fittings with that. You know what I'm saying? That
you use
the
brass
ferrule, right? And it had that.
You can use
then
that on the copper line, the ferrule.
Right. Then when you went to the copper line, you loosen it, snugged it again. Of course, that was soft enough; it took that shape.
Right.
But I've had guys, to use with either the hydraulic brake line maker or old school double flaring kit. I've had guys buy 37, and I know that's said for oil coolers and oil lines.
Okay.
Now I've sold some A&N wrenches and some stuff, a few stuff for A&N, and I remember seeing. And I don't know if that I think it is 37 too, but I'm not 100%. I would have to go back and look.
I know John would know.
Yeah,
he would know. So,
but that was
because then he didn't give me. Also, he must have had it to join the two throttle bodies into one. It's like doing like I have a. It's like when you dual feed tube on a double pumper.
Yes.
Now I have the 2 4 barrels on the car, but I have I have a it's a braided steel braided line that'll join the 2 carburetors and comes out, and I put the filter in it. So I got to make something up for that too. I have to make up a hose, I guess, that'll join the 2 into 1. So I got to do a little plumbing. I don't know.
Yeah, they I was trying to see if I can find what the degree is.
Yeah, I saved something here on the. I saved a chart. Okay, I got all the sizes. -8 is the pipe thread is 1/2 14. The SAE 45-degree auto refrig is 3/4 16. Oh, SAE 37-degree hydraulic line.
Yeah.
1/4 16. Yeah, it's a 37-degree. Yep, I see it now. They're showing the end of the AN fitting, and that tapered little nub on the end of the AN male fitting is 37 degrees.
Yeah. So that, like this one, this is like the dual fit, a Y fitting.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
And then they had, of course, this one they got a Weldon fittings, I guess, for doing aluminum. If you were doing an aluminum gas tank or whatever.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I saw something in here that was kind of interesting. Because they had like a pack. Where did it go? See, they had a pack like this where it had the fittings, but like if you had a hose that went on, like you just came off of a regular hose or whatever.
3/8, 5/16, and then AN.
Yeah.
It's probably a -8.
So
I found a website that had a bunch of all the AN stuff. I sent it over to a buddy of mine who's done some of that work. And he says, yeah, their prices look pretty good.
But I think John, who was it? Was it John that was talking about at the time? Or I think Lewis had gotten some stuff. And then, of course, like a year and a half later, it rotted out on the inside because there's a difference, like a steel braided. I watched a really good video on YouTube on how to make the ends to fit right. You know what I'm saying about how to roll back the steel part, and you had the plastic just, to get it all on there. It'd probably be one of those things where it's like doing brake lines. When you start the project, and by the time you got done, you're really good. Where you had to go back up to the beginning and fix what you did, because you're like, yeah, this is good enough. And then you're like, by the time you're done, you're a master.
That's one of my wish list tools. I know Eastwood sells it. It's that the hydraulic brake, brake flaring tool.
Yeah, I wish I knew because we had a killer deal on those things.
Did you?
Yeah, it comes and goes.
Well,
on that.
Keep it in mind. That's one of my bucket list tools.
Yeah,
the things you don't use it all the time.
No,
man, when you need it, that's gonna be so cool to have.
There's actually there's two different ones, and sometimes you gotta watch. It really depends on what, but the newest version has for the oil cooler and transmission lines the O-ring ones, so every once in a while you can find the older style that does not have those fittings in for a pretty good price. Now you can add those fittings later.
Yeah, that would do for me because most of the stuff I'm doing is older anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and actually I haven't ordered it yet, but I was going to order the 37 degree fittings for that. They sell that separately.
Right.
And I was going because when I get to that point on the Mustang, I wanted to have those fittings so that I could do them.
So now, just like the headlights with the tag with my name on it, put a tag on that in your brain. So remember, when you get a deal on that, Ray wants one.
Yeah, because we had them. They weren't on. Well, I use this term. We have a clearance page where they clean out, and they were on there, and that's how I got mine.
Yeah. Yeah, my buddy Rob from the Gun Corporation. It was last year. And he sends me an email. He says, "Oh man, I got to share this with you because I know you'll appreciate it." He goes, "I got one of my bucket list tools," and that's what it was. He bought it from Eastwood. I'm like, "Wow, Rob," I said, "I'm envious, man. That's on my list too."
The girls are on vacation, and they just sent me a picture of the Mako guy.
Oh yeah,
and they're like, "What are you doing here?"
Where are they?
Hawaii.
Oh, geez. Nice.
Yeah, tell me about it.
All of them?
Yeah.
Oh, you better get some payments. Yikes. Well, that's crazy. They had to fly to California and then fly.
Yeah, they flew. They left out of here, and I can't remember where they went.
So wait a minute, how come you're not up? How come you're not up in the kitchen?
I came down. I had to run my reports and everything. I was late. I ran my reports, and it was a little after 9.
Yeah,
when I finally logged on. So, but I can't remember where they flew to. They flew out, and then they had to go to Seattle, and then from Seattle. They went out. They had a 3 or 4 hour delay.
Wow.
And then from Seattle they went to Hawaii.
How long they be gone for?
They come back Monday.
Oh wow. Okay.
So they left Saturday.
Okay. For that much flying, I think I'd want to be gone for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, well,
it's expensive there, though. I mean, everything. Everything's
Yeah.
imported, everything. So
Yeah, that's the last time we had a tool show. We had a tool show in Hawaii. I don't know what year that was. We were in Hawaii, and it was nice, but man, it was just expensive. They
Yeah.
said that they said that would never happen again because that took. I think they said it took 4 months to ship everything out because it all because of the cost.
yeah,
It wasn't flown. All those toolboxes, all the equipment, all the stuff that was on the show. It took like
to get it
4
there,
months.
yeah.
You had to get it there, and everything was just beat to snot, dude. I
Really?
mean, yeah, bouncing around in that boat, I guess.
Wow.
And then of course bringing it all home, So
How
Emma,
many dealers are there in Hawaii?
I don't know. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. But Emma just sent me this picture, and it's a guy at a gas station. I can only imagine.
That's cool. I wonder what gas costs there.
Oh, I could only imagine. I can't see the sign.
One of the buddies, one of the retired order crimes cops I know, I got to join their lunch club now because I go out to lunch with these guys, and he just went on a vacation. I guess was it a week ago Wednesday? They went up to Alaska. I think it took a cruise to Alaska. I know someone from the job who did that. And he said it's phenomenal. You can, the whole West Coast, and you go right up to Alaska. It's pretty cool. So,
we have, and believe it or not, in our rankings are like the top 10. There's usually I think 3 or 4 guys from Alaska are in the top 10.
Wow.
And they all say it's very difficult at the beginning because what happens is these a lot of their customers are oil companies.
Yeah.
So you go in there and they just don't buy one. They'll say because when the tundra unfreezes and they can get up to where they need to go, they load up. So they'll say, we need a case of these hammers, a case of this stuff, a case of that stuff. And of course they're on like a 30, 60, 90 pay thing. Of course, our tool bill doesn't work that way. So your initial output is a lot of money up front.
Yeah.
And then of course, when that comes, when the check comes, that's fine. But your startup on that is pretty tough.
Wow.
But those guys, those in the top 10 guys, we're all talking, $1 million numbers,
Yeah.
And it's always funny one of the first times when I guess I paid attention, and they say Alaska, and I was like, how is this guy selling? Of course, then I go ask him, and he's like, oh yeah, well, oil company, if I go in there and they want, they'll buy 10 toolboxes, or they'll buy 50 packs of screwdrivers or whatever,
Yeah.
And I'm like, of course I'm adding this up in my tool bill, and I'm like, holy crap. He goes, oh yeah, don't get me wrong. He said it's brutal because you're outputting a lot of money up front.
Uh-huh.
And of course they all want this. Of course, you go with a down payment, and then they want these 30, 60, 90 payments and all this crazy stuff. And it's like, sheesh.
Well, the good thing is, though, it's corporate, so you're going to get it.
Oh, yeah. It's just, I kind of miss, I used to have a pretty good thing with WSSC. That's our water company.
Uh-huh.
And I used to go in there, and that was pretty good. Now, when I dealt with the shop, that was on a 30, 60, 90 type thing. And that kind of drove me a little crazy because, like I said, they'd buy, 4 battery charge, big battery chargers or whatever, and or a handful. But the truck guys were that was funny because during that time period, there was a lot of water main breaks we were having. And of course, the first time I had stopped off, I guess it was at a 7-Eleven next to a water main where, they were all down in the hole, and they literally have, it's a 16-inch main for, water, and it has bolts all the way around, and they're literally with ratchet wrenches like this.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, can't you hook up to your, airline on the truck? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, I got this 1/2-inch gun.
Yeah.
And I've got this 1 7/8 socket. And they're like, how much? And I was like, well, that's, whatever it was, 6 something at that time. This was a few years back. And, it turned out I'd sell 4 of them and with the sockets, and then they have the supervisor behind them with a card and swipe that thing. And I was like, man, I gotta start following all these. And of course, then it's like, it's on one truck and they want it on another. So
you gotta start making job site visits.
Yeah, I know that was really good. And that was a fairly good stop. And then I had a new supervisor came in, and a new office supervisor guy. And he goes, you're overcharging us. And I said, no, I'm just charging you, probably. And he got into with a corporate, he got the corporate, he called Mako, and then they had their corporate guys come out, and that cut me out of the picture.
Oh, wow.
And so then, I don't know, a couple months had gone by, and that guy calls me up and he says, hey, you got to stop by here. And I was like, why do I got to stop by? And I said, I thought you were dealing with corporate. And he goes, well, I got the stuff we bought. We got some broken stuff. And I said, well, you call corporate back up and you can mail it back in because I'm not. He goes, no, you're supposed to fix that. And I'm like, nope. And then I get a phone call from corporate, the guy, and he's like, you need to do a service call. And I said, you can find somebody else, dude. I said, you go in, you take my gig, you're taking food out of my mouth, and you want me to go in there and do the warranty?
Right.
It doesn't work that way, dude.
Right.
He goes, well, you're supposed to. And I said, yeah, good luck. So that was it. That's why the very first time we had, when we started on this online, I had a guy order a cart from them, and he had a problem. They wanted me to go fix it, and I told him I wasn't going to fix it. I said, you try to cram it through that little USB port.
Yeah, I was playing with that, and you noticed didn't you notice like that was when all of a sudden your water rates mysteriously went up.
Yeah.
So I was playing with the website again to try and get on. Like I still can't log in. I'm trying to make a new account. It wouldn't let. No, I go to make a new account. It says no. This user is already in the system. But when this user logs in, they say we can't find you in the system. Like, ugh.
I need to find somebody I could talk to or call about that because I have another guy. He tried to pay through the app, and I guess he realized instead of putting how much he wanted, I guess it was the whole balance or something, and I can't change it. but now it's locked him out because it hasn't processed. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
I don't know why it's got to be so screwy or something. Like I said, you think it'd be easy, but it's got to turn into a whole.
It's computer stuff. So it's a matter of one character out of place, one letter out, or just one stupid thing that's not right, and then nothing works, and it's stupid. You need someone who knows the system and knows, like you need the girl at Walmart to come over with that little card and flash it at the machine and say, okay,
Right.
you can take the thing, you can put it in the bag now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's funny.
We're in the supermarket today, and I learned every time we'd be in there in the supermarket, and my wife will be putting the stuff up on it. We'll do self-checkout sometimes,
Uh-huh.
a few things, and I'll bag it because I'm a control freak, and I like to make sure that everything is bagged the right way. So
Yeah.
but I'll do that. And I noticed that every time we went, it was giving her trouble. It was like unauthorized item in the bagging area. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? I put the thing in, and that was what I was doing is I was leaning my knee against,
Oh, yeah.
and it was
Same.
sensing it. So once I figured that out, I'm like, okay, hands off, knees off. I can't lean. God forbid I lean on something,
I had ran through what was that? It was a Target, and I stopped in. There was a few Hot Wheels, there, and I went through and I went to self-checkout and I scanned it, and it, bleeped and put it down, and I went to the next one. It wouldn't scan, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell's going on? And it was asking me if I wanted insurance, and it was from Allstate, because I guess something with the car,
Oh, geez.
and I was like, oh my God. So of course it's like, no. And then I ran it through, and it was like insurance protection plan. And it was like, I guess I don't know if it was like an extended warranty on the toy or whatever, but it was. I said, I gotta take a picture. I'll show you, because I told the guy. I said, the guy walked by and goes, "You having problems?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "What the hell's all this stuff?" And he goes, "Well, I guess it's asking you if you want an extended warranty on your product." And I was like, "Well, the cars are. I mean, it's already got a lifetime warranty. I mean, they have a lifetime warranty on Hot Wheels." Yeah. And I said, I didn't even think it's funny because it says from Allstate. And I said, I'm not buying insurance for my toy. Yeah. And so of course, everyone was strike, and I had to know. I was like, oh man, next time I'm going to find somebody to run them through.
Yeah. Go to a checkout. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I had, I'm looking for, they have, Johnny Lighton did, they did a set from Motion.
Oh, nice.
And I found some today from, what was the guy in Chicago? Mickey?
Oh, Nicky Chevrolet.
Nicky, yeah. Mickey or Nicky?
Nicky. Nickey, and the Y was backwards.
Yeah. They had a Camaro and
probably a Nova.
I think it just had 2 Camaros.
Okay.
I saw those, but I know they made a Motion. They did a motion one too. They did a couple of Motions.
Did I tell you, I was talking to my, I don't know if I told you a story last week, talking to my mailman. He was scoping out that Corvette for me a few blocks.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was saying, there's another guy with a Corvette down the other way. I'm like, yeah, right. There's a lot of guys with Corvettes. He goes, yeah, this one it's older though. It's older. I'm like, how old? He goes, real pointy in the front. I'm like, wow, sounds like a C3. He goes, yeah, and he says something is special about it. And now my mailman is like Jamaican or something. So he got this Jamaican accent, He's like, no, special, man. I don't know. He says there's something special. I'm like, well, what the hell's so special about it? Oh, big engine. I'm like, okay, it's got a big block in it. That's cool. Good. He says, yeah, but something special. He doesn't drive it. I'm like, well, what the hell else could be so special about it? It was an old race car. He goes, no, he says something. He had some special badge. It said with an M. I'm like, Motion? Is it a? He goes, yeah, that's it. I'm like, he's got a Motion Corvette. He goes, yeah, he got these things on the side, really loud. I'm like, side pipes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. He goes, yeah, he never starts it up. He goes, but it's motion. I'm like, if that's a real motion, Corvette, yeah, that's worth some dough.
Yeah.
So that's serious, man. Depending what level, what stage they built it at.
Yeah.
But,
That's crazy.
he goes, you know about that? I'm like, yeah, motion. I used to go there when I was even a teenager. I used to buy like, because it was a speed shop too. So I used to buy. I mean, I was only buying like carbureted kits, and I bought some books and small stuff. I wasn't a big player. I was a kid, but I used to go there. He goes, oh man, you know all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's my life.
I saw a FJ today, and it was all black. Okay, and it was, I guess it had been repainted, the guy spent some time because it was black. I mean, it was like 36 inches deep black. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was black.
Nice.
And he had the mirrors and door handles, and all the trim was neon green.
Oh, jeez. Yikes.
I tried to take a picture of it for you, Ray, but he didn't look very friendly inside the car.
It's the funniest thing about that truck. I used it today, but I had my wife out the other day, and I said, it's the coolest thing with this truck. I said, it doesn't get hot in here. I said, between the white roof and the vertical windows, I said, like, you don't have an angled windshield that the sun comes in and magnifies. It really just, you don't get bright sun on you, and you don't get really hot. It's the coolest thing. I was like, I like it. I really dig it.
Because I noticed, like I said, we were sitting in traffic, and I was pointing one way, and he came up, and like I said, I noticed I could see the reflection of the black. I mean, it was deep, and then I looked over, and I saw all the neon, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And the neon green, and then I realized it was a FJ.
Yeah.
And but it was just kind of funny. I was like, I gotta take I said, I don't know how I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like trying to figure out how I want to take this picture, and but like the Toyota and the symbol, handles, the mirrors, and he had like a tow strap or a tow hook on the bumpers or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were all neon. They were like that Suzuki green, you know what I'm saying? And because it really stood out against the black. I mean, but I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that. I said, I gotta find a way of taking a picture of that. I don't know if I'll ever see it again.
I almost ran over a guy today.
Yeah?
Oh, what an idiot. There's a street behind my house. It's kind of like it's a side street. It's like a lane, it's nice treed. And there was a woman in front of me in this, like a early 2000 Camry or whatever. And she was driving kind of slow. So I'm behind her in the FJ, no biggie. And there was some guy on a bicycle. And he was to the right of the road. And as she gets near him, she kind of went around him on the left, like to give him more room. Like, well, he's not doing anything to make you think you need to give him more room. But, okay, if you want to be careful, that's okay.
Yeah.
And she turned, which was great, because then now here I come right behind her. And what does this jerk do? Without looking back, he just veers the bike right in front of me.
Yeah.
Literally he like cuts me off. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. So I kind of jerked the wheel around him, and my windows were open. And as I was like, you fucking idiot. I was like, what part of this bumper didn't you want to meet? Are you kidding me? And he just was like, huh? And then I look behind me, and he's like in the middle of the road, kind of swerving back and forth. I'm like, yeah, day drinking again, huh, Pedro? Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, man,
crazy.
It's going to hurt when this thing rolls over you.
take him out for sure.
I don't care how it was all slow speed, and I don't care how sauced up you may be. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
So thank God I didn't run him over.
that's crazy.
Oh yeah, nutty stuff.
So hopefully, yeah, I gotta do it. Like I said, and I really want to clean the tool truck out. It's really piled up in there.
Yeah.
I haven't, yeah, between the boxes and just, I'll be really honest, I haven't, to be honest, whatever comes in, I've just been trying to sell or, get it on the street, so I just really haven't cleaned out.
Hey, I heard a weird story. My buddy, he does forensic insurance adjusting now, but he was telling me a story about the guy he works for. That guy's father, who had been a mechanic all his life and was an adjuster. I don't know how old he was. He was older, but he was working on his custom pickup truck in his garage, and he put it on jack stands, 4 jack stands, but he put pieces of carpet on the jack stand, I guess, so it wouldn't scratch the rear end of the chassis. And he was under the truck working, and the thing slipped off the jack stands and crushed him. I'm like, and he said, it's because of the carpet. I'm like, wow. I said, I can't imagine. I mean, I've used like rags, like shop rags, but I guess a piece of carpet, especially if it was more rigid, maybe. But with the weight of the truck on it, I still can't fathom how it would move. But
yeah, I don't.
It obviously did.
Wow. Some of that stuff is really, really bizarre or weird.
I mean, they make the jack stands, with the half moon bevel in. That's where the rear end goes. Drop in that half moon, man. That's what it's there for.
Yeah. And they sell those. They're like rubber pads that go on top. But they have that same shape. It's all formed. But some of that stuff doesn't make sense.
They don't fit all the jack stands though. There's different ones.
Yeah.
So I think I saw that first at Harbor Freight. They sold them for their jack stands, and I looked and it's like, it ain't gonna fit my jack stands.
It's funny that you say that because I had a shop, and on the lifts, on the lift pads,
right?
They had that rubber pad, right?
Yeah, right.
And guy had one that was they were all fucked up on his pad, and I said, I can get them, like, I don't know, $18 a piece or something like that. And he's like, okay, well, I don't know, we'll see what happens. And I said, all right, just let me know. So I go in next week, and the guy or his they finally hit us, right, with all the porn things.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, on the comment side, there's a whole bunch.
On full screen. Let me. There we go.
Yeah, because I just looked over and I said, man, I haven't seen anything, and then there they all are. But so he had taken a Goodyear tire and cut the tread, cut where the tread is.
Yeah.
And put it on there.
Okay.
And do you know they almost lost a car because the car slid on that?
Really? Wow. Yeah. There you go.
And
I know one of the lists we have at the shop, there's like carpet. It's like carpet pieces on there, and they're all frayed up. So they've been on there a long time, but.
So they put it on, and I was like, I said, what's that from? He goes, that's a Goodyear tire. He goes, it's got to be strong enough to, and I was like, okay. So it was funny because they got it on the lift, and I guess going up and down a couple of times, one of the arms wasn't locked in and it moved. Wow. And he was like, I know I had it on there. And I said, well, dude, I'm telling you, it's it must have slid. So I noticed it was like a couple weeks later, the tires were missing. The pad. Well, they went back to the metal pad,
At least they learned.
Yeah.
I mean, you put a block of wood on there and they don't slide. I've used wood plenty of times. Yeah.
It's really funny, and I don't know if it's something to. It has to do with some type of physics and math somewhere along the line about
Right. Right.
how much weight is being spread out or whatever on the carpet or what
It's got to be the coefficient of friction
yeah
between the rubber. But you think a rubber is, I mean, stops a car with the brakes. I mean, that's what stops the car is the friction of the tire on the road, not the brakes on the rotor. It's the tire on the road that literally stops the car. So
it's
you know,
crazy.
it is.
And so I was like, I said, what happened to your pads? And he said, well, we had a couple incidents, and he goes, we took them off. And I was like,
new pads.
I said, you want me to order some pads for you? So
yeah, at least he was smart enough to take it off and and back it down.
Yeah,
not be stubborn about it or whatever.
Yeah,
that's good.
But it's crazy. Like I said, the only time this was when I first started working on cars. We were at a shop, and this guy was putting new wheels and tires on his what was that thing called? Navigator? Is that right?
Navigator, yeah. That was a Lincoln.
Yeah, I think it was a Navigator.
Whatever. Big one.
Yeah. And so it was funny. He was sitting there, and he had gotten his wheels and tires, and we switched them over, put them on the rim, got them all on. And he said, oh, I'll buy you guys lunch. So we said, fine. So, he bought us lunch, and we're all sitting in the office eating lunch, and we hear this crash, and we're like, what was that? So we all run out, and all 4 stands collapsed.
Really?
Yeah. And that thing,
it was on jack stands?
It was on jack stands, and the whole thing collapsed. It was sitting on the drums or on the rotors.
What kind of jack stands was he using?
I have no idea. This is 30 years ago, dude. This is when I first started working on cars. I mean,
wow.
And it was like I said, we were like all fucking freaked out over that, dude.
Maybe he was using cinder blocks.
Nah, they were jack stands, and they all collapsed and folded under.
You know what I saw today? Just to change the subject, we going up to the store and went down this one side street. There was a couple body shops. So, of course, there's an SUV in the middle of the street, no rear bumper, half the back is missing. The guy's blocking traffic, and another guy's blocking. My wife's like, "What the hell's going on over here?" I said, "Well, there's body shops." I said, body shops, you put cars wherever you can. They just throw them everywhere. But then the SUV started moving, and I said, "Look at the wheels on the back of this SUV. They were like space savers, but 2 or 3 inches wide. It was an orange rim with like this hard rubber tire, and he had one on each rear. Is that like a body shop thing, or is that like a wheel that those?
No, that's a body shop thing. That's so that they can, like, if they don't have a wheel, or they can move them. They're like
that's kind of what
they're only like 3. It's only like 3.5 inches wide, and they're like I think they're 17s or something like that.
Yeah. But it's an orange steel rim. Yeah.
And it has a whole bunch of hole sizes.
Yeah.
And they fit everything. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Looking thing. I was like, okay. Yeah. Obviously, he's just moving it into the shop. So.
Yeah, that's when they don't have like if they don't have if it's wheel damage, like a wheel damage, they did the suspension. They're waiting for wheels or whatever.
Yeah.
They used to have. I've sold. They were OTC made them, and it was actually. I really wished. I don't think they make them anymore. I really wish I had bought a set of them because they were pretty cool. But it was like a jack stand, but it had wheels on them.
I've seen that. Yeah.
and it where the instead of like having the U shape for the jack stand,
Uh,
it was a pinch. It was a molding pin, and it
Wait.
went on.
oh, okay. Oh
It
no.
went on the rocker pan or the pinch weld,
Right.
and you bolted it on, and it had a piece that connected. Like if you were doing like it was originally for I sold a couple at the Ford dealership. They were Ford Taurus. Like when you pulled the subframe out and you didn't have a subframe anymore in it, you could bolt those on. It had the brace that went across, and it held it so that then you could push the car, out of the bay or move it or whatever you had to do. And they were pretty cool. They were fairly expensive, but it was really
the ones
good.
that had a flat plate that went over the wheel studs.
Yeah.
And then the same idea. But yeah, there's a lot of cool body shop stuff like that.
Yeah. The orange wheel things are pretty neat. I can't
funny looking on the street though, really.
Yeah. I think it has something to also do. There's I can't remember the name of the company, but I think it's also like when it measures out the car to see if it's bent.
Okay, yeah.
Because you put them on the wheels, and that way they're sitting, and then it has like this. It's like a laser thing that you hit all the points, and it calculates out on the screen, and it'll tell you if the car is bent or mangled up or whatever.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat stuff.
Laser beam.
Yeah. That stuff is pretty neat. There's a lot of neat stuff in body shop stuff or that type of stuff. They have those tie rod clamps. So like if you have a busted tie rod, you can hook it back up to get the car back in or to move the car.
Right.
And so forth. There's a lot of little things that are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
With that stuff.
Neat.
So, but those orange wheels do look funny.
They did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, Ray.
Well, what's not going to look funny is the inside of my eyelids when I start sleeping in a few minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Keep channeling positive Mustang thoughts.
That's it. You got it. I'm going to hopefully, like I said, take care of the tool truck stuff and tinker on the old Mustang a little bit. And
nice.
Monday, the girls come back, so that's going to kind of screw the day up a little bit. But
we have Monday, right? It's 4th of July.
Monday's the 4th of July.
You better have a feast planned, a banquet. Better be cooking something.
They better be bringing back something.
They're bringing you coconuts.
No, pineapples.
Pineapples, yeah.
Pineapples, that's like the only thing they grow out there.
That's great. I love a nice pineapple. Yeah.
They went to the Dole pineapple plant.
Cool.
So it's kind of crazy. You wouldn't think that, you would think of other things like between coffee, those Kahuna beans or whatever that's called, and pineapple.
You got to keep working so they can keep taking those good vacations. Maybe I'll let you go to the beach one day,
Please.
Right?
They don't tell me what they're doing until the day of. Oh, by the way, you got to take us to the airport.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Well, where are you guys going? Oh, we'll send you a postcard. Don't worry.
Yeah, send you a postcard, and then when the credit card bill comes in, just pay that for me, will you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh well.
All right, Brian.
All right, Ray. You take care. Don't hurt yourself now.
I'm very careful.
All that life of luxury you're doing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I got my projects going on. So for Lewis Lee, Ray Guarino, Matt Goman, Brian, and the Virginia new exhaust laws that we started talking about, Plain and Traffic will end this installment, and we'll be back next week, same time, same channel, and we'll have more fun to talk about. So
more fun and exciting. Maybe some dirty pictures.
Keep it where you got it. And what do we always say, Brian, to people who are waiting outside for me to take the garbage out?
Don't follow us home. It won't turn out good.
it won't turn out good. That's right.
No.
All right.
All right,
guys.
Ray, take it easy.
Okay.